Futures pointing to another positive start to Friday morning here as we head towards the end of the week, coming off a bit of a mixed showing for equities on Thursday. J&J shares lifting sentiment this morning right across the board, becoming the latest company this week. In fact, if you remember, GE announced first off they were going to split into multiple different companies. Johnson & Johnson becoming the latest to join that trend, saying after the market closed yesterday, the company will split into two separate companies. 4% to the upside this morning on that. Wall Street Journal was the first to report that. If you remember, we have a little bit of inflation to deal with still lingering in the background. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a cap on the current market rally. We had the PPI number and CPI numbers for October out earlier this week, both coming in higher than expected. So that has kind of limited gains overall for equities right across the board. Busy week for earnings, as we've been discussing all week long. Really no significant consumer data this morning. There's a sentiment number to deal with. There's a job openings number to deal with this morning. But for the most part, we have surpassed all of the significant economic releases. Tesla shares higher. Elon selling more in an SEC disclosure after market yesterday. We'll talk about that. Chinese EV maker XPeng as well, getting another bounce. It was up big time yesterday on news of a new SUV coming from XPeng, and we'll look at Rivian once again. It is Friday, November 12th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at, positive start, but muted overall. 0.25% right across the board there for NASDAQ down, the S&P. You can see the TSX futures very similar. 0.26 to the upside. Cryptocurrencies continue to come off a little bit after we reached all-time highs going back a couple of days ago. 3% or 3.5% for Ethereum, 2% for Bitcoin. Back to the downside. Going to be an interesting Friday here, guys. As I mentioned, a little bit more positive sentiment. Good morning. Johnson & Johnson jumping on the let's split into multiple companies bandwagon, joining GE from earlier in the week. And I guess kind of an unexpected move here.
Yeah, well, I guess unexpected and just no chatter or seeing it coming. But then did we know that GE was going to do that? Makes some sense. The conglomerates, may not be done. Might be done if your businesses aren't related and have synergies, and it makes sense to split them up and you'd be able to focus costs and tell that better story to investors. It's easier to understand the two, the pharmaceutical and of course the consumer goods there. So I'm a fan of it. I can't really complain. Didn't complain in GE's regard. I think it's going to be good. Welcome everybody. I just realized, and thank you guys in the chat for pointing out that BACT, which is down 9%, has a conference call at 10 o'clock. And so always keep that in mind with a lot of earnings to report to. And I want to short a pop in the stock. I have orders out right now, but that conference call at 10 o'clock, I want to make sure that I'm not caught off guard when that does start. So there's a lot to get to, some movement in crypto here, Sean. And of course, the EV space. And okay, fine. I wasn't sure what I wanted to say about Sundial, but it's actually doing a little less. I thought it'd be over the 100 million mark in volume by now. It's actually doing less volume than I anticipated. So Sundial, we get to trade it because it's earnings.
Yeah, I'm even noticing Tilray right now up 7%, which is beautiful. Thank God. I mean, we've been waiting for a little bit of a pop in some of these cannabis names. CGC as well, trying to get off the bottom, another 3% today. So cannabis names, although, I mean, I want to throw up every time I see this chart, obviously. We haven't recommended buying any of this since election period, which was down here, and we got a big pop for that. So that was great. Every time I see my father, he's like, oh, that call was great. And I'm like, oh, thank God you're still not holding the bag on that one. All the way down to 11, and he got out in the 30s or something like that, which was very smart of him. But so did many of us, but many of us still held. Down 1150 was the bottom of CGC. The only reason I'm starting the show with this is because we are getting really close here to breaking the 50-period moving average, and hopefully doing a little bit of a trend change now northbound on cannabis. But again, looking at the 50-period moving average and technicals on some of the marijuana plays, haven't been great tools. So let's just hope that the momentum continues to the north side for some of these. PaySafe still trying to find a bottom at 4. It looks like we might have done that yesterday off 250, almost 300 million shares yesterday. Look, it's going to be an exciting one. It's Friday. We're in casual wear here today. We got our handed to us last night because our last suicide pick was Baltimore. Like, Dallas really screwed us last week, and we lost a lot of our picks on Dallas as Dallas couldn't beat. I don't even remember who the hell were they playing last week.
It was Denver. We had two options. We could have gone back to the well with Dallas, or we could go with Baltimore. We went with Baltimore because they're starting their back. Because Miami's starting their backup quarterback, and then their backup quarterback gets hurt, and the starter comes in.
Even if they started the starter, I mean,
Lamar?
I don't even.
Really, Lamar?
They were 6-2, man. I mean, whatever. I started the Miami defense in one pool, so I was pretty.
Oh well, yeah, that's all
pretty happy with that. So, yeah, Brendan, we're talking football. So
he's not even.
He's not. He's just.
He just tunes out when that happens,
what's
right?
up?
Like
There he is.
I mean, there's things moving, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah,
let's
football.
MITQ. A few people were discussing this early on. MITQ reported, so a little one here, up big time on huge volume on decent earnings. So Moving Image Technologies jumps on Q1 revenue. We'll discuss that coming up. Before we go any further, let's get over and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, team. Happy Friday to you all. Let's have a wonderful trading day together. Please give us your like and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed, guys, get it started. Lots to get through. We have less than an hour to go before the market gets going for a Friday. As expected, I guess, Elon or an SEC filing from Tesla out after market yesterday, disclosing that, yep, Elon was selling again on Thursday, $690 million worth, Robbie. There you go, thanks. 690 million worth of shares dumped on Thursday. Comes after, we were talking about Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, he's been selling all week. Does this even matter at this point, guys? I mean, to be expected, I guess.
I want to say it doesn't matter because that's what makes sense to me because we knew exactly what was going to happen, the timeline for it. I just got into that back, by the way, and again, watch out for the earnings call. But as Brendan mentioned, of course, Tesla made a move down. Like Brendan, yeah, Tesla's looking up again, and then Tesla back down to 1050. Look, like I said, it's been anticipated. It doesn't mean the price action isn't still going to reflect, the selling coming in. Some people panicking over it, thinking this is going to be a top. And it just comes back down to when things move up violently, they have a tendency to do the same thing on the way down. So, it's almost like everybody that wants to buy back into it, when it starts going down, is like, ooh, I can get a really, really good deal. And then that's why you might get some bigger moves. Now, obviously, 1050 is right here on the bid. And then there's that 1,000 level that we know was pretty good. But just keep in mind, in those teens, there was a bit of support in Tesla as well. It's got this, today has this not as rosy feeling. Crypto pulled back a little bit there, and I don't know. And Tesla was started out looking like it was going to be positive. Rivian was making a run. It made a top and then a lower high. So I got one of those feelings this morning. And maybe if Tesla can't hold that 1050, you could see something like a wipeout. And want to be ready for that 1,000 mark because I remember in the pre-market, looking at that 1,000 the first time, and there was a scalp off it, then there was a failed break, and then. It was all sort of off to the races. So if we get a shot at that on Tesla, fair enough. It seems crazy to me that, people haven't already, factored this into their line of thinking. But hey, Elon's going to make those headlines. I saw he took some jabs at, kind of jabs at Rivian there. It was sort of low-key jabs at Rivian. I don't know. There's room for everyone to win, I guess. But Elon has to do his thing.
Yeah, he doesn't need to really worry too much about
really.
Rivian, I wouldn't think, at this point. But you know what? I think that there is, the excitement in the Rivian IPO has obviously led. This is still backed. I was looking at that, but here's Tesla there, just now breaking through 1050. So not a good little look. This is a 20-minute chart, though. If you could see here, 1,000. Neil just talked about that. And I think what winds up happening is that there may be a slight rotation, right, into Rivian right now. There's managers, hedge fund managers that need to have Rivian on the books here heading into the new year, and being able to buy it could could mean something. So let's wait to see here what happens to Rivian today. But I think that it's just a rotation out. You've gotten so much money and so much profit out of this Tesla trade right here that I feel like maybe any of these bumps are getting sold a little bit to rotate into other EV names, specifically Rivian. And I know we're saying Rivian now about 30 times this morning, and we'll say it even more. But it's the new, you know, I said this yesterday, the new shiny coin, and I think people will continue to look at that instead of Tesla right now. Still, 300,000 shares is beautiful for a $1,000 stock, so it's pushing volume here in the pre-market. And I just look at the same thing Neil does. I mean, look at this 1,000, it's right there. Look at the 1,100, it's right here. I mean, you have 1,100 here, 1,100 right here, bouncing a couple times before we break, then 1,100 right here, and 1,100 again there. And then the same thing with 1,000. Boom, 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 boom. So you're in this $100 range right now, and until you break one way or the other, it's kind of, you're just, I don't know, shooting ducks in the middle, waiting for something to fall. So I'm gonna wait for either 1,000 to break or this 1,100, and we'll trade one of those. But I'd rather short into 1,100 than long into 1,000.
Hold on a second. Pew, pew. He said shoot ducks.
Yep, there he is.
Well, that's not a duck.
Arun's coming on soon, Arun. Gonna be here at 9 a.m., not p.m.
It'd be cool if we
We
had
should
a
make
duck
that
one.
into a duck, a pinata. Sean,
Brendan wants us to work till 9 p.m. Would that be a fair assessment,
No.
Brendan?
That's about right. That's
No?
about right.
no.
No? Blue Ocean?
Never mind. Tilray, you were mentioning Tilray there, Sean. They announced they're going to participate in not one but two Jefferies conferences coming up before the end of the month. So there was a couple of minor headlines there for Tilray with a nice morning so far. Here's what we were talking about to start off the show here. Johnson & Johnson splitting into two. I mean, this has already come back quite a bit here, 2.7% still, but we were all the way up there to almost 172 early on this morning. I guess liquidity an issue early on to get us there, but 168 an issue so far. Is this going to give us an opportunity today?
If it
J&J?
dips. I mean, I don't know. If they dip on this news, you buy it. So, that's. I mean, the 200 periods are at 166. That's a trade.
I mean, I've said this consolidation and things like that, and when companies start breaking themselves up, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I've been calling for this for Facebook and Google and I mean, I would wish everybody sort of broke it out because you realize some value, right, in some underlying assets that you may have. You break them up, and we'll see where it goes. So J&J has this 167. It's the top right now. It's bounced. This is just a 20-minute chart. So you get a nice move up. It's 3%. It was higher earlier. I don't know what exactly. Like, you got to break down the units. You know, where the money's coming from, you know, and whatnot. But I think this is a great move for J&J. As I look here, what was it? It was going into...
It's the farmer and the consumer.
Right. V Tylenol, Listerine, all that company selling prescriptions. Yeah, Band-Aids. Two companies, right. So okay. Medical device and then prescription drugs. So look, I think it unlocks a little bit of value. Obviously, 3% is nice. You're up to that 168. If you look at a daily chart here, you're still... need to take out some of these highs. I think we could settle around this 172, 174 area. A nice bump up today. You're just trying to break through 170. Well, let's see if it happens. I mean, it hasn't been so heralded. It's 1 million shares today, which is nice, but they're all just done in the same range. I mean, this is the minute chart. So they're all just done here, 168 to 167. So I think this is a 168 break. Yeah, I actually like that call. Let's take this through 168. I actually thought that this was going to take J&J a little bit higher. Like when I woke up and saw the headline there today, or saw the headline, I really thought that we'd be up here somewhere, and we're not. So let's take this. I think this is going to be a good move for J&J, 168. But I'm expecting to see some upgrades and stuff like that on J&J now. So let's see if that comes through, and we'll check that out on our upgrades and downgrades.
All right, let's go to chip makers here. We've looked at a few of these the past couple of days. AMD, NVIDIA, the two main ones. We sat here actually yesterday at this time talking about an upgrade for NVIDIA that had it up nicely in the pre-market. The opposite this morning, so I guess they make a little bit yesterday, take some profit today on a downgrade for NVIDIA, but always worth a watcher, guys, both of these.
Look, it's a good momentum stock. Oops, can't go too far back on that daily chart, otherwise you get yourself in trouble. Not split adjusted, of course. You know,
How's it
been
getting downgraded though?
Well,
like downgraded for what reason? Like,
well, so here's the thing about upgrades and downgrades is, without looking into what whoever happens to be following them there, and I guess it was I don't know who was Wedbush there, so you want to see what their targets were before. Like, it's entirely possible, like, on the way up, they had, someone could have like a 500 price target or something, and then, or they're just way ahead. They were like the top man, and they just sort of come back down. Who knows? So you kind of have to look at those individually. Has it made a bit of a big wick top here, but hasn't yet to really re-challenge the lower highs? It's gotten pretty close. They're aiming like $5-10 away from it without really challenging, and it feels like that's put in a bit of resistance. So I can see the case that there can be some pullback in NVIDIA just looking at the pattern here. That's all I want to go by. I mean, the day trade is always going to be here for NVIDIA. Although if you look at what looks at least a little bit more appealing in terms of a break in one way or the other, sure, you got 300, which already happened, and then a bottom here at 99. But then you have this yesterday support right lower. Then you're looking at 95 and 92. So on the momentum side of the downside, there's some trades there. But how clean does 308 breaking look to the upside? I just wish we'd got it. I don't think the downgrade's going to do us any favors. But if we don't take out 290 today, then next week I think we could be looking at that 308 break, and then maybe you do get a run at some of those lower hies, even if it puts the head and shoulders. That 8 break can still give you $5 to $10. So, I mean, I don't really see a good short considering the downgrade in NVIDIA, but that doesn't mean something couldn't come into play. As good as that 308 looks, for a pop and fade off of that level, if it fails to break it, that could be a little bit of something. But, I think NVIDIA, if it does get any kind of a bigger sell-off, you're probably looking for places to get into it if you haven't been already. And if it were to break this range and you could start thinking about 265, 270, I think that's a gift horse that you don't want to look in the mouth. I had nothing else for that.
Morning, Ariana says good morning to us. Good morning to everybody. Good morning, Niagara Charlie. What's up, buddy? I hope everything is going well in Niagara. Next time I'm there, actually, we're going to Great Wolf Lodge soon, so we'll be in the area coming up. Look, so I'll just go over to AMD as we're talking semis right now. The same thing's going to always stand true for me on this one until the market really starts to go to the downside here. Yesterday, we experienced some nice dips into AMD in the morning, took them all out, absolutely crushed it, but we only took out $3 and then it went another 3, so it went 6. So here's the longs. I guess we didn't take 3. We took, that's 143 and that's 141, so $2. So to the upside there, nice move. We'll see if we can hold on for a little bit more. We are nervous here. I've still thought, on Monday or Tuesday, I said the NASDAQ should be going down another 3 or 4%. We're down about a percent and a bit since then. So I'm not super crazy bullish right now, but AMD just continues to work to the high side again, like 0.3, 0.2, bouncing around here. I think we buy dips again today, but I'm going to try to be more patient. Like yesterday, we take this opening break 143. Thank God it wasn't very many shares, but it does come all the way back down into 141. So like that's $2 drop right there in the first 5 minutes, right? So that's why I've targeted right here 144, trying to be a little smarter. 144 gives us that $2 drop right into this area. So, this will give me a little bit of cover so that if it does go down, we don't have to get out right at 144, but maybe we can get out right here, 143.70, something like that. I'm really hoping it does fade in. I'm not going to take the opening break on this. It's just, it hasn't worked. The last couple of days we've been surviving because it's dipped down and we've had our eye on it, so we've been able to watch it. I would say right now a dip into 145 is where we'll put on our first position, and then the real, like we're doing yesterday, right? Like, see, there it is right there. So there's one spot at 143. There's another spot at 142 yesterday. Then there's 141. So we had to really dig this, and it was very, very lucky, which is why we got out almost instantly when it started popping back up, and then only held a small piece, 10-20% for that move finally. But I'm hoping for similar action here today and hoping that we can get in 145 first. Like if your plan is to take 300 shares, then this would be 100 right here, and then I'd put on 200 down where we need it. So I would say a third of your position around 145 if we're lucky enough to get that on. And I'm just thinking we get it on the NVIDIA news. NVIDIA got downgraded, so maybe AMD does flush a little bit here. I doubt it. But if we can get a 145, we'll do that, and then we'll go 144.20. You know what we'll do. We'll build into 144, but ultimately that's going to be our target area. With a wrong, knowing that we're wrong would be here, like 143.50, 143.75. That's a little ways away now. But remember, this is no longer like a small stock. This is $150. So a $3 move is something that we should be expecting on AMD, on NVIDIA, those kind of things.
Quickly, guys, there's a little pop here on this NYSE Incorporated. Remember, this crazy mover from yesterday was doing absolutely nothing until, so this is a company that makes those single serve coffee filters. So Cuvée, which is one of their customers, is going to be sold in Walmart, 3,000 Walmart stores, which sent this thing from $2 to $7. So a little bit of volume coming in here already. This one on the watch list this morning, but just breaking through 6 right now, guys. Up another 15% for NYSE today.
Yeah, I mean, the good day they had yesterday. You always like to see this, actually looking at this now, pulls back, 480 bottom, holds a higher low, this pre-market at 5 even, sets up for exactly the same afternoon range break at 580. So someone was just saying in the chat, like $6 is a break. Yeah, you know what, in this case, 580 probably would have been just as good. If it does pop up any further, I'm looking right at this. I know there's wicks higher, but look at this 7. If you're anticipating a lower high, I think you got to look at the body in here at around like high 680s into that $7 range, maybe that 7.25, and that's sort of your target zone for where you might find first resistance. And then if it dips and it's going to continue to be strong, buying in front of that 580 to 6 area makes some sense here. Clearly, it's got a nice floor on it. And look, there's not a lot of price action that's going to be that relevant after this news, so I want to just focus on the prices from yesterday where it found some support. And the volume looks pretty good so far. So it's not something that I would lean into, like a 930 rollover short type idea. That would have to be specifically at that lower high or nothing. I do think if it dips in the open, if it holds any of these support areas, whether it's 586 or it comes all the way back into 5, I think those are good for some bounce type plays. So NYSE should be on everyone's radar. Certainly one of the better small cap movers. And the day 2, do not sleep on these day 2 moves.
No, we're in. We just got into that BKKT as well, looking at 25 here. Remember, there is that conference call coming through at 10 a.m., not p.m. So we'll watch out for that 10. I mean, you can, or that 25 level here, even a little bit. I mean, if you wanted to hold it, I think you still got this breaking spot right here that happened. 25. Let's call it $26. So we don't want to be holding something that's 24.30 short, 24.40 short into 26, but you may get that move. So I think we're going to finally get out of BKKT if it does go back up and break through 26. So more averaging incoming for this name, and we'll get you. I mean, we talked about it briefly, but we'll get you the news on this when we get back. 25, 80 or so. Yeah, so let's average up into the downside. Beautiful move, a nice move back. So we'll see if it can crack through 24 right now. That's BKKT Holdings, backed holdings right now, Brendan.
Yeah, it was earnings out pre-market here for back. Not good either for Q3. Affirm, here we go. Upgrades, downgrades today. Affirm, top of the list. Home Depot, SoFi. Penn National on here for the first time in as long as I can remember. To the upside, PaySafe once again on the downside. NVIDIA, as we mentioned, and yeah, Lordstown still can't get out of its own way.
50.
Well, yeah, I mean Lordstown. Look, you're gonna put a delay in at this particular point when you don't really have revenues to speak of, then it's going to be a problem. So of course they're it's in the watch list. It should be off earnings. Going to be delivering their truck. I think it's a couple of months later into next year. Affirm catching a bit of an upgrade. So it's pulled back. It's flat on the session right now, but it's pulled back. Bungled it like 3 separate times in the long. Don't know why I didn't like the short. I don't know. I guess I was way too picky with where we would have liked it. Affirm's got some interesting possible support because when it flushed on the 10th here, it was right through this 147, 50, 148 area, and that ended up being a bottom. So if you're looking for a bottom pick, it was probably a tough one to sniff out, but it then put in a lower high at 148 again. So we might have a support area. Despite the upgrade, you're still seeing some downward momentum. Yeah, and the market just feels like a little skittish. If we bounce off that level, I think that's your one shot. If it puts in this higher low from the afternoon and post-market right around this 150, then the breakout could be in play here because there's nice room. If this actually catches a bid and breaks this 154, there is some room up to that 160. Now remember, Trader Brad pointed out in the afternoon show, I wasn't watching it at the time, there was a size seller at 160 that may have been the big stall here on this bounce back that Affirm had. I would expect to see resistance at that price for sure.
I think I was just double checking you with Brendan because Evercore, that has to be a mistake on PaySafe, right? That it had a 172 price target. That's impossible.
Damn right.
That would be absolutely impossible, I would say. So we'll figure out that mistake. Maybe $1.72 is the price target on that one. Okay, let's go to Brendan, then I'll talk about PaySafe.
Yeah, I can show you here, guys. There's a couple actually. BMO, first off, $5.50 from $12, $4 for Evercore. There's Evercore. $4 from $15. And then RBC as well, 9 from 15. So in that kind of 4 to 9 area.
Okay.
I mean, it said on the chart, and people were talking in the thing there that it was saying 172. I think so. I think we might have shown that by accident there, mistake. But so cut to $4. So obviously on a downgrade. I mean, if they went to 172, I mean, where was their price target before? Okay, so look, yesterday we're going to try to rinse and repeat the same thing. It cruised through volume yesterday. We all saw that on PaySafe, and it was just an amazing open. I didn't think it would halt. The big mistake that we made, forget about this pre-market bid, that was nothing. It was this one here on this drop on the halt. I thought that was going to be enough. It clearly was not. We took a big position there. We got hit down, so that was a big position at 60. I guess we started to get some out here as it came back in. We averaged it again at 50. That didn't work. So then the break of 50 must have been this one right here, the break of 40. So, you know, this really killed us. That 20-cent move there just crushed us. We had the most shares we had on this name all day. But we did put on a similar position down here. We actually had more shares down here, but not taking it out for enough money to make it back. It didn't have that big, huge run that we were thinking. And unfortunately, that was the end of that. And now we'll have to wait to see. I don't see, how could I have an uptick right there when I wouldn't have been short PaySafe, but anyways. Okay, so we're going to look to see here 420 or so. We're going to try to get some bids down and around here. My current bid is actually at 418, which was yesterday's bottom. We'll wait to see it. Well, I mean, yesterday's bottom after that exact bottom at 411. So we'll see if we can get some. I'm going to change that actually into, I mean, I might as well bid 422, 23, see if we can get that. But I'm just seeing if it can hold 4 again. So I think this is well worth it. We're going to be very, very patient. I'm not taking any of these breaks or anything like that. Let's just let it fall down. Hopefully finds a base again on PaySafe, and then we can go back to the upside. I have not added anything to my position, nor do I plan on doing that until next week. So let's get PaySafe back. You know, I tried to buy, actually, yesterday I tried in the middle of the day to buy some options on this, but it was just too expensive, and I didn't think that it had a chance to get back to $6 or $7 by the end of the year. So I didn't want to do that. So we'll just wait on PaySafe right now, but I think a bid back down here as it's coming back in could be a decent spot. Just a quick check. It was on the imbalance locator earlier. Yeah, there it is. So it is a buy, but that's misleading, I feel like. That's going to flip around. So we'll wait to see on that one. And then also, I have on the sticky note here Coinbase, but the thing is, I just want to bring, oh man, why did that just shrink like that? Yeah, no, what just happened to me? Oh man, I feel like this is not going to be a great day for me here today. There's been some, yeah, I know, I think it'll be fine. But here's Ethereum coming back in and then just making that bottom. And this is just in the last 30 minutes, basic strong movement back to 4,600 on ETH. So we did want to look at Coinbase a little bit today. So we'll do that. And I just want to check in on the big guy here. Although I think Ethereum is going to be a better investment. I mean, there are some more interesting projects being worked on, including Cardano and things like that. Like Cardano can do 60,000 transactions in a second. Solana can do like 30,000 or something transactions or more in a second, which trumps Ethereum. Gas prices on Ethereum are roughly $5.80, I believe, per transaction, while Cardano's is under a penny, and so is Solana. So I think there's some opportunities with some other altcoins. I know my man Lucas over there is dabbling in a few as well. But right here, Bitcoin needs to take this out, 64.2. So a nice dump down to 63, back to 64.2, which makes me believe that we're going to have some action today on Coinbase, and that is again on our watch list. So we just talked about PaySafe. Oh, backed. Okay, backed. We got a nice print there, short 25. We talked about that as well, right? That we wanted that short 25, and our out was going to be 26. So we do have one more bullet to fire up here, but look at that, comes right back in, right to under. So now we're only in the money right now, 12 cents because of this. But hopefully this can come in, and then we'll take some bids out here. If I can get something out at 24, that'd be pretty good. That's for a 60-cent win, and then hopefully the rest falls to the downside. So BKKT working, but we will get to Coinbase.
All right, quickly, Niagara Charlie asking about AMC. I saw this tweet this morning and then kind of shrugged it off because of this. There's absolutely zero reaction to this tweet talking about AMC now taking payments from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptos, including Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin they mentioned, Doge even on here as well, guys. But, I mean, nothing to see here?
Are they accepting
I mean, that's what it
the
implies. So
I think until
follow the volume.
Yeah, I think until they actually do, like, I just don't understand. Like, so you're going to get up to the line, and then they're going to say, "How do you want to pay?" And I'm going to go, "I want to pay with Dogecoin." And then what happens? And then I got to like scan my wallet. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know if the technology is there. I mean, the technology.
I've been there for a while, but like in most of the places, they do have like buy your tickets online before.
Online,
so
right,
I would
okay, that
I would
makes sense,
assume
yes.
that the initial step would be for that alone,
Right.
which the integration should be a lot easier. All that being said, like follow the volume. I just. You know, it's whether or not you think that that's a big mover for AMC, I find it hard to believe that that headline wouldn't cause a pop in the stock. It put a wipeout bottom in just literally the last 2 days. It's put a wipeout bottom in through this 38. It's holding a lower high this pre-market, so you got a floor 38.85, 39-ish. You're gonna have a nice tight consolidation set up for a break in a headline like that. If it's not gonna break out there, that's a little weird to me, so I don't know how much credence I want to put into this moving the stock. But it's not a horrible setup, because you're talking maybe like 50, 65 is a current high, like 80 cents to that level we talked about, to the pullback, like 38.85 or so. And then this 40 break has happened. So if it goes through 40, you're essentially trying to hold through that break and then try to get up to this 41, 42. That's not a horrible trade. It's just no volume pre-market. I mean, literally none. Like Sundial's doing volume, Backed is, doing a little bit of volume. It's just nothing here happening on AMC off that headline is what makes me wary of that play.
Yeah, the good thing is it's right at the level that we like. I like this 39.50. We've talked about that over and over again. So I think 39.50 is going to be a level that should be able to hold. And if it, I know we made the move down yesterday in the afternoon. We talked about that as we were trading it here live and looking at it yesterday. And this, I guess you can use 39 maybe now as a bottom. We did dip yesterday off the open into 37.50. I mean, that protected the bottoms there as well. So, again, let's just wait to see. It's not, apparently it's not news. It's not a rumor. This is news. So let's go, man. I mean, I think AMC has a potential to go back to the upside, as long as, look, still percentage of the shares, right, being held by retail investors. So if nobody's going to sell this name, then that's why I really think that we keep getting these bids at like 35. Like, people don't want to see this thing go below 30. There's buyers every time we get into this area, and I just think that it's going to happen again. AMC's revamping their business model. That's fantastic. I mean, if I could choose between, I don't know, we don't really have AMC around here, but Cineplex or AMC or whatever the competitors are, one is accepting crypto, one is I'm a shareholder of one, blah, blah, blah. I just feel like there's some motivation there to do that. It's kind of like your favorite football team where you go to support them, and I feel like people will go to support AMC. I worry right now. I haven't heard much about what is in theaters right now. I know Eternals hasn't gotten great reviews. You haven't seen that yet.
No, I haven't seen it, but this is one of the things when AMC gave their targets for making their turnaround, they were leaning heavily on the fourth quarter being as good as it was pre-pandemic, and some people are saying, analysts are saying that that's not a reasonable target. That fourth quarter, there was like the rise of Skywalker. There was like 3 other blockbusters coming out. I think my concern would be, are there actually movies that are going to get them to that target?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what's coming out that's going to get them there. But certainly a big fourth quarter box office could be huge for them. I'm sort of warming up to this. You guys are, we're confirming the story. You guys are putting some of the ideas of how this is going to play out. It's not a bad setup. It really is. The new Ghostbusters.
I saw Paul Rudd was in Ghostbusters, and right away I was like,
I saw the trailer for that. I'm a huge Ghostbusters. Obviously, I'm probably I'm a Ghostbusters fan. I wasn't that excited by that trailer at all. Sorry.
I don't know. I saw I'm like, where's Bill Murray? Like, where's all the real Ghostbusters? Like, Paul Rudd, honestly, I'm going to drop kick that guy.
Oh, wow, that's cold, man.
Yeah, because I just feel it's miscasted. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't. But I like Paul Rudd.
Do you?
Yeah, he's like Ant-Man.
I don't know. I'm not.
I loved him, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man?
Bond is the other one, guys. Still in theaters, I think.
Bond?
Yeah.
But that's already out. I'm talking about something that still has to. What hasn't dropped yet?
Dan Aykroyd? Like, these guys are still alive. Like, is Bill Murray in the movie, first of all? Because if he's not, then honestly.
They didn't get Bill Murray.
Honestly, now I'm getting. Now.
Well, I'm guessing. I actually don't know.
Now I'm getting heated up.
So what you're saying, Sean, is you're not going to the movie theaters?
Well, obviously.
My kids want to go, I'll take them. But I don't know. We've seen Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Exactly, yeah.
I haven't seen the female one. I know that's on. Maybe we'll watch that this weekend and then get hyped up for the new one. But honestly, like, Ghostbusters, because we're 80s babies, if you want to believe that, then, you know, Ghostbusters is near and dear to my heart. I used to have those little Ghostbusters figurines, you know, where you...
Cartoon.
Yeah,
we were
consumers distributing.
All in, man.
Like you used to be able to go there, and they used to have the, you know, the... I don't remember what it's called.
No, you could get the proton pack,
The proton pack that actually used to fire, like, it was just a plastic string, like, and it was just the best, man. Slimer, all these things.
Slimer was the best.
Yeah. And now I have to deal with...
You can't mess this franchise up. That's my whole point.
Yes, you can.
You shouldn't be able to mess that franchise up. That's all I'm saying.
All right, here is the headline.
Rudd.
Here is the tweet, anyways, that I was referring to, guys, as we showed there. So there's the quote, AMC, we now accept Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. There you go. That was what I was referring to, anyways. We shall move on. Let's bring in Arun here and get a check of the overall market. It's Friday, Arun. We made it to the end of the week, if you didn't know already. What are you looking at today?
You know, this market just, it looks like it's going sideways. So we're going to have to kind of use the same rules that we were working with yesterday, which is kind of range trade this a little bit. Anything above 60 or around 60, look for a short. Anything below 45, look for a long. We're going to put the edges at 46.70 and 46.25 and just trade in between. There's not a whole lot you can do when the market slows down except protect your cash and kind of just make the right decisions and save it for another day when the probabilities are better. If this market breaks out to the top end a little bit, that might open the door for a long. It has to break up through the 70, come back down to kind of get you a decent risk reward ratio on a long, because I don't see myself going long 70 because the next level is 90. So there's 20 points above the 70 break that you've got to deal with another little batch of selling there. So I would just be kind of wary on how this market plays to the upside if it does continue through that 70. But for now, though, it is going to be a range trade between 60 going on up and below 45 going on down. So top end 70. 46.70, bottom end 46.25, and just be smart and just range trade this if you can. If you're not familiar with range trading, the rules are slightly different because you really have to focus on what you're risking and what you're going to get out of this trade, because the edges or what your opposing side or what you can make is going to be limited. So if you're not familiar with that, I would just kind of maybe take a break until this market actually works its way out of a range and kind of opens up a little bit.
Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again on Monday. Let's get into the watch list, guys. Going to be a busy day. Lots to cover before we get to the open. Under 30 minutes to go here. Brought to you by MarketScreener.com this week. Check out MarketScreener.com if you're focused on European markets. They have lots of great content on there, so go check out MarketScreener.com. Johnson & Johnson, we discussed briefly there in the pre-market. Still kind of sliding to the downside here. Let's actually maybe talk about, we can discuss J&J here, guys. Is there a trade here?
Oh man, I'm just telling Rob here, we need a Ghostbusters animation. So we need a hold my beer animation, and we need
hold my beer first. Hold my beer
Neil, Rob, this is a good one
Neil
for
and
you,
I.
man. Neil and I, Rob, need to get like our proton packs on, and like we're like zapping.
Okay, so first of all,
like
we actually should have done, like, Halloween's come and gone, but we should have done a group Ghostbusters.
Yeah, we may do that next time. I'm Paul
Rudd. Next year we're doing a group thing for Halloween.
I'm going to be Paul Rudd. And so what's up to, thank you so much, Dominic, as well, confirming that the originals are in the new one.
Oh, Bill Murray's in it.
So there we go. So good.
Oh, I'm watching that.
Confirmed by Dominic. So I don't know.
It's a mortal lock. I'm watching that movie now.
I'll be watching it at some point. But yeah, exactly. Never cross the streams. That's the most important thing there as we go. So J&J, yeah, we hit J&J earlier, guys. I think it's going to be a good one today. Oh, it's already breaking that 168. So that was a level that we wanted to take out there if it did break it. Now you're giving another pre-market high of 168.50 or so. I still think that's something that we should be looking at here. Pre-market high break. So I like that level. I think that's something that we could look at here on a break in the pre-market. So that's going to be something that we're going to watch out for. A drop kick. I don't think I can drop kick anybody, but let alone myself. So we'll wait to see that. But this is going to be like the best movie of all time you watch, and I hope it is. I love the blockbuster.
We're going to set ourselves up for disappointment.
I love the series, man. Okay, so J&J, look, splitting it up, I think that's a good idea. It's kind of like, I don't know if it changes anything for them. They're still not anywhere near their recent highs of 180. That got tipped out there. They've been getting thrown around a little bit, J&J, and I just see some jokes. Like I was watching, was it The Daily Show? No, it wasn't The Daily Show last night. It was I forget who it was. Maybe it was Kimmel or somebody. But they're always making fun of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, like it's in third place, things like that, right? And so as that goes there, we'll wait to see what happens. But it still has some negative press about the vaccine. But I think this is going to be a good one. J&J, you hold it for the dividend. You hold it because it's a solid company, big American company there. So let's just keep holding Johnson & Johnson and wait to see. I still think we break something high there. A bid back to 167. I don't know about that. I feel like the risk is to the downside. People might be like, meh, it's not that big of a deal to do this, split up the two businesses. So it's not like they're splitting the stock up or anything like that. So we'll wait to see what happens with J&J back to the downside, 163, unless I have the story wrong, unless they are splitting the stock. I don't know if they're just going to announce, it's kind of like what Facebook's doing.
Right on details, right?
Yeah, like Facebook is still the one stock, but when they report, they're going to have, the Facebook universe, which is going to be the WhatsApp, the Instagram, not PayPal. I wish they got bought by Facebook. All those businesses in one, then they're going to have the Meta as a separate report, right? So I wonder what that means for J&J. If that's what they're doing, then I'm not sure this is a big, huge deal.
I think it's more than that. My guess is it should be more than that. They did say they're keeping the dividend for now, so that's definitely safe.
Yeah. I think this is a breakout to the upside. My money, just like you said there as well, Woody Lim, my money is also on the breakout rather than the fade back in. So I think we break this out. Let's just quickly check here because this isn't New York name, so we should have something on here, which we don't. So I was hoping that we would have some kind of J&J on here, but we don't. Right now, that's not DocuSign, that's Docs. PaySafe still there as a bid. Palantir as a bid. Disney as a, oh man, Disney yesterday, how good was that buy at 160? We talked about adding some there, I didn't. I think that 160, the next time we test there, normally I have that 3-day rule. We tested the 160, it broke yesterday, we got out. But that was a good bottom there at 158 for Disney. So let's watch out for that as we talk more media companies.
All right, quickly here, Rivian, guys, back on watch again this morning, the EV truck maker that just goes up 3.6%. Again today, we're at 128 now for Rivian.
Yeah, I mean, why does it only show my trades from like literally the open trade on 2 days ago? It doesn't show any of the ones yesterday, the embarrassing 125 short, so maybe I don't want it to show that. Rivian, I had a trend line drawn here, which I don't always do this, but when I started out as a trader, I actually thought I was going to live and die by trend lines. Anyways, it's a 3-day trend line, which is it was just jokes to look at because if you actually held very well once we put in this low off the open, and then in the afternoon it held very, very well at 116. I wish I had drawn that yesterday, and I would have bought the dip a little bit sooner and bought that break a bit sooner. But the theory of it holding this is almost insane because it implies like an obvious insta break, which, hey, 129 top. I don't like 129 top breaks because 130 is right there. I prefer to be taking a 130 break. That's first things first. But if it doesn't break the high, I mean, at 9:30, you'd be looking at taking out 125, 126, and breaking this trend. Now, trends this early are completely useless. I just thought that was amusing to me. Oh, I always do this thing where I got to delete it now. Anyways, but it's amusing to me. I still think there's a chance for continuous breaks, so I'm looking 130 break. If we get to that point, we have to consider 135, fine. But at some point, there is going to be that failure to break and then rollover style trade. And just noticing here, that trend break would be about 125, 126. So if we do pop off the open at 129, don't get through 130, and then have a harsh sell, I would be looking for a potential reversal, but it has to take out, this implied like 25, 26 area here. Otherwise, I don't think you can, safely short it with too much of a plan unless you're sort of going random there.
Yeah, so by this time yesterday, you have to have a plan today, I feel like, as well. 108 yesterday. We were already long at this point yesterday. We were long at 108. We cashed out at 112.50 even before the market opened up. So we took 450 clean. We tried the 120 break there and missed it. We didn't do anything else all afternoon as it kept bumping up against this 125, right? Bump, 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 bump. And then now today we're well above it. So now you use that 125 as a back test, right? So we'll wait to see if it tests when. It's not if. I believe it does test this. What's up, Market Screener there? Scan that. You go right to marketscreener.com on your screen right now. Back to 124 here, 124.50, 125, call it the same thing. When you're dealing with a Rivian here, we have an IPO that's up 22% yesterday, started at 78, came out at 106. So this is already, everybody in retail is long this name at 106 and not selling it. I feel like everybody that was under funded there off the open, they're under allocated, I guess is the right word. Maybe they didn't get all the shares they needed to on this day here. There's the IPO, ding, 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 all the way to the upside. People, I don't know if, I guess it's funny because there wasn't too much buying down here for some reason if you look at the chart. So that's a little bit weary to me. I'm surprised there wasn't more buying down there, but we sub 100, but we held 100 yesterday. No problems here. We take that 108, doesn't even think about retesting any lows. I mean, it tested the 108 again, but then it took off crazily. I think you have this 120, 118 area there. We may get into that again. I think that's a screaming buy if you get down there. Backed. It looks like we're going to try to take out 60 cents right now on that one as it's coming back in. So for me, Rivian, let's wait to see. And this is what I put on the sticky note, and you can find it at Trader TV, Sean right here. And it was just like, let's see if it finds support at 120. It was up 22% yesterday. I don't think there's enough strength for this rate now to take out 128, but we take out that 128, 129. I will be long for a test. There's 100%, no doubt about that. We're going to take this out 129. If that happens, we'll get a small piece in, and then we'll get out if it breaks 126, the bottom. But for right now, we're going to rest some orders down here around 120 and see if this 115 holds.
Tesla, quickly, mentioned early, if you joined us right off the bat this morning, guys, at 8:30, Elon disclosed aftermarket yesterday more sales to the tune of about 700 million this time, 690 million, about 600,000 worth of Tesla shares again yesterday, in addition to Tuesday and Wednesday. I mean, when I looked at this first, it was positive. We're negative already and below that 1050 area that held midday yesterday.
Yeah, we're back and forth through that level at 1050 essentially. So, I mean, every single price you put in, you got to start thinking, it's $1,000 stock. Start thinking about like $5 above and below, and then a $10 range. Like these levels are probably going to end up being more like ranges, unless you're talking about 1,000 or 1,100 or 1,250. Those types of things I think will hold a little bit more water. So, when I look at a pop here, potential pop here at yesterday afternoon, gosh, that wick makes it ugly. The 1 minute might be a little bit better here. When I look at the afternoon yesterday, when it was holding successive lower highs from the morning, I kind of think these levels at 1085 could be fade zones. And then if we break through, it has to break 45s, and I think that's where you might get that move down into 1,000. Now, if I try to catch a dip, I don't want to pull in a firm where if you miss a short opportunity on something like Tesla, you're basically just sitting there getting long too early. So I really would like to be waiting for 1,000 if this does get to that downside. I do prefer to short into a pop if I had to on Tesla. Although right now I anticipate there's a 99% chance it's Rivian and backed that I want to be trading off of that open. And of course we'll get the sundial as well, that news. So I don't know if Tesla's going to be the front of my radar at 9:30. There's too many other names that are going to be movers. I might just be patient if it does do that dip and then look to dip buy it. Because if it's a rollover day, I do feel like the Rivian failure short is probably one that I would want over Tesla, just because I think it might be a more clean or more clear trade, I should say, at these levels.
I'm just tweeting this out right now. I'm going to actually add PayPal to the sticky note right now on a 204 break. If we can break above this 204 on PayPal, we like that spot right there. So we dipped down in yesterday. We battled it all day yesterday. Finally, I think we were about flat on it. I don't think there was much happening yesterday on PayPal. We kept trying to defend. I mean, we had these ticks a couple times. 202.50 there. We had 202.50 there. We got one out there on VWAP on a CNBC bump, but that bump didn't continue, so it stopped at 204, which is why I think today we could probably take out that 204. So let's see if PayPal wants to do 204 today. I already have the order in. It's a very dangerous thing to take this off the open because he could spike right to that again, and then the fade play happens one more time. So that's going to be a little bit of a risk, but I think PayPal, the fact that I know I only have $4 worth of risk on this, we can really plan our trade and put on the right amount of shares for this. So a 204 break, I think this could be the jailbreak that we're looking for back to the upside here. It's just been, obviously just a disgusting move to the downside off of its recent highs of 310. I mean, it was just here back in July, and now you're down to 210. So you're cut almost in half. I mean, not almost in half. That would be 160. But if we do get down to there, that would be disgusting as well. So right now, I think the 200 is going to hold. I think we're ready for a breakout now on PayPal. Let's see if that's going to be the case here today. But if you look at the 20 period, it's right here. You know, we've definitely made a bottom. These are the kind of bottoms you're looking for. We did buy more PayPal yesterday, and we're going to put our money here into this trade today, breaking through 204.
Let's stay in EV land quickly, guys. We'll talk XPeng here. XPEV up again this morning after a huge move yesterday for the stock, showing all kinds of relative strength as well versus some of its competitors. They teased this yesterday, a brand new SUV coming for XPeng. So monster move, as I said yesterday, all the way up to 47.5. We're up here again, testing some of these highs, 3.5% so far this morning.
Yeah, look, XPeng, if you look at the charts for a while now, it's sort of been beating the other Chinese EV makers from the stock standpoint anyways, and you're going to look at this top end of the range, and it's going to stick out that 50 is going to be a pretty interesting break. It's already taken out that recent high from June, but has been consolidating barely higher at 50. If it breaks that, it's probably smooth sailing to the 55 to 60 range. Hasn't been a gigantic move in any of the Chinese EV names, you know, sort of relative to what you're seeing here on our side of the pond, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But XPeng could do that. I just feel like it's already pulled back off 50 with, you know, some signs with Tesla coming down here and, you know, Rivian trying to hold that top, that it might not be today that it makes a break. But if we get a top end break, much like Rivian, I think this one can be in play. If we're going to have an update, the next paying to that 50 break, you know, sometimes we get enamored trading NIO because it's a great day trading stock with more liquidity, but XPeng's been giving you fantastic moves, and this is a great consolidation, except for a break on good news as well. But you know, the way this morning is going, I don't feel like that might actually happen at 9:30. I'll have the order in after the open. I don't want to have this order out in the pre-market in XPeng. I've had bad luck trading this thing in the pre-market.
Yeah, you got to watch out for the pre-market plays are what sometimes the problem is for sure. It's been a roller coaster ride for NIO. NIO just talking about it here, up and down and around, and 39.50 there held, of course, like AMC. It's funny, same price as AMC here, but now 42, 43. Yeah, so we're coming up to 43. Let's look at a minute chart here yesterday. Did we have NIO yesterday? No, I don't think we did, or else it would be showing up. But I always feel like we buy the dips on NIO. So here's a typical move, and we've talked about this before and kind of left it alone here. But NIO can dip off the open quite often, then start to take off and follow the market. So when we get that market to rip upside, and then you could see yesterday, as the market started to fail a little bit in the afternoon, it didn't really, but NIO didn't give anything back. So 41.50 is pretty strong there for NIO. Now I know we're up to 43 here, so let's see if we can get dips again in this name. Like yesterday, you know, move up, takes out the pre-market high right there, dips back to the pre-market lows, and then takes off. So if that was going to be the case again today, we're at the pre-market highs right now. We may test there, dip back into 42.50 or so, and then retest again. So that's where my bids are going to be right now for NIO, 42.50, hoping to get a little bit of a bid there. Actually, we'll see if it can break 42.50. Let's take it down here. Yesterday's close, so 42.30, something like that, and that way we don't get too caught if it does retest some of these bottoms. So 42, you know, small will look here on NIO. So 42 small for a quick bid.
There are a lot of EV makers to discuss today. Lordstown reporting, first off, loss for Lordstown, obviously. They also announced the delay to the Endurance SUV, pushing it back a full year, a full 12 months. Versus what they had said prior, blaming supply chain disruptions, lack of semiconductors, things of that nature. So 11% now. Neil, we were talking before we came on here. I think it was 6 at that point or something, and felt like that wasn't quite enough.
Well, yeah, and it might not be. So it got the run yesterday because I guess everything in the EV space was making that run, and Lordstown did it as well. So it spiked through 7, double top failure, and then the earnings report to disappointment, pushing back the SUV. And like we said, might not have gone too far, and then it popped. It got right to the lower high at 650, shorted 49s. I scalped them out in front of those 30s, and then it's essentially just been grinding downside. So I'm looking for a pop and fade. I also think there's a potential breakdown at 6 even that can come into play. You know, ideally in the next 5 or 6 minutes, we can get a bit of a pop to the upside here, and then I want to short that pop into 650. So, well, I mean, it's more like 655. I'd give it a few pennies above just to make sure I'm not getting that sort of top wick idea, especially because I like to short today on low end. You have to expect, of course, that sometimes you can get these squeezes, but I feel like the money will be in other places in EV space today, which makes it a bit safer. You guys are going to scream at me if we don't talk about Sundial here. So a few things to remember with Sundial. I still don't like them. But it's about 15% short interest. I know it's been bigger in the past, but that's still pretty significant. I've gone every way on this one this morning. I shorted off 95. I then did a long off 95 into 98, and then got in and out flat when I decided I didn't want to play that double top too close to $1. It's basically barcoding here. Every time it breaks a buck, it does have some trouble getting through it, but that's a level that you can't ignore. So the 200 period is right here at 95 as well. If it breaks a buck, I'm very likely to just try to take that long trade. If you pop back, I guess I can't have to zoom in on the daily for you to be able to see. Last time it got up here, probably resistance if it gets to like that 110 mark, like 107 to 110. But that still gives you a decent run, like 5%. If it breaks a buck, you can get like 4s, 5s, and 6s, that kind of a thing out. Am I still going to be looking for a short? Yes. I'm not. I'd be sitting in the short now if I didn't think it could make a run at $1. Otherwise, I'll allow it to go parabolic and probably break that dollar. I would think about it at 110, and then of course, if it got to the quarter mark, I'd probably be all over it at that point. Last time it made a big multi-day run, 150s in play. The stock has made big moves before, but it tends to fade every single time. That buyback is for a small percentage of their float, so I wouldn't get too excited about it, but it's still causing a 30% run anyways.
Come on, Hugh Jassel. Asked me there. I guess that sounds like Hugh Jass, right? No, it's Hugh Jassel is his name there on the chat. So I think I can get away with that. Yeah, he mentioned to me, what was I talking about? 335 or 135 on Coinbase? Definitely not 135. As Coinbase right here, 335. Look, I like this play. Come on back, man. We're short at 60. We're on the bid right now, so we're in here somewhere. We won't tell you where, but hopefully the fill comes very, very soon at that one. And by me not telling you, I'll tell you right now, it's 24.02. We're sitting there on backed. Hopefully we get filled on that for a clean 60 cents there, and then we'll hold the rest for after. But look, Coinbase, this was based on the fact that we were starting to go downside there on Coinbase. So, in crypto. But now we're sort of battling back a little bit. So Bitcoin, this was based on this move. I thought we were going to extend it to the downside there on BTC. That's, when we made, this is 8:30, so this is an hour ago as crypto was starting to come back down there. I thought if we were, if it was going to be a negative day, that we could take that fade in, but since then it's came all the way back up. So I'm not even sure if I have the order. I don't even have the order in for Coinbase, but here's 335 right here. So just thinking yesterday, it looks better on a 1 minute chart. So let's go over that quickly. There's 335. So dip into yesterday's close, stops at 335, bounces back up, and today you get another bounce up. So whether or not we short this 342, I don't want to short it because again, bad earnings report, but they already made that bottom at 305. So now we're going to come in on Coinbase a little bit again. So I just think that it was a nice bump up here from earnings up to 340, and I don't know if they deserve it. So we'll wait to see here as crypto comes back in. We'll wait for a 335 break on Coinbase. So that's what we're waiting for, but the crypto market obviously has to follow as they haven't decoupled from Bitcoin price yet. So we'll wait to see what happens there, but Coinbase on the downside. Brendan, let's go.
More EV talk, guys. EVGO, one that has doubled, count it, in exactly a week. So this time last week, this thing was under $10. We're at $18.95 currently. So huge move to say the least for this thing. 19.5 has been resistance a couple of times here over the past couple of days. And then above that, watch 20 for EV. Go looking a little bit on the weak side today, but setting up here possibly for a first red day kind of idea. On Lordstown as well, guys, we mentioned SUV. It's obviously the truck. The Endurance is a truck similar to Rivian.
Right, yeah, exactly. And Rivian, good segue. Rivian breaks the high, that 129. Like I said, I prefer 130 to 129, just the even dollar break. I mean, if you're going to scalp it, it probably was pretty good here. It looks like you could have easily got 50 to 70 cents, or maybe even like 80, 90. But it has not broken through that 30 level, so it's still in play for that possible reversal. I talked about showing that trend line if it broke 25, 26 area. And you look at this is 126, a bit of a double bottom. So right now you have a failed breakthrough high of the day, does not get through 130. If it slams all the way back down through 126, that does set up. I would put a short position on, but I still like the 130 break. So at this point, not touching it inside the middle here. It's either a 130 break or upside or a 126 down. Still in back, but anyone, if you're just joining us now, there was a conference call on BKKT at 10 o'clock. Personally, I'd rather be out of the position or at least have it deeply in the money at the point in which that call starts. If it's sitting here not really following through, I'd rather trim or just get out of it before that call starts. It can be dangerous unless you're actually paying attention to a call to sit in a position, and usually it doesn't end too well there.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, just looking here, we're responding to some people. Looking here at, we talked about taking the break, the pre-market break on Rivian, so that's going to now have to be 130. So if we get 130, we can get out at 126. So I still think that that's worth taking here on Rivian, the 130 break. So we'll do that and then see where we go. So Rivian on a 130 break, that's what we're looking at right now. Any kind of dip buys in PaySafe, we're going to do that as well. And again, this is not going to be yesterday's mistake. We have our out, man. Our out's going to be $4. So we'll see if that can come through. We're going to buy some AMD dips. We're going to buy some Neo dips, and we're still short backed right now. So
backed. And no, Sundial already going without me here. But like I said, I wanted to wait for the open to come in on this. There was a chance to short it off 98. I thought it would make the run at $1. Hasn't happened yet. Now we're already down to 91. So even I wasn't pessimistic enough here. I'm going to give it a chance to pop off the open and see what happens when the volume starts to come in. Miss V, I believe, is on the bell. Last time I checked, there she is. Let's drop it. It's Friday. It's been a crazy week. I think it's going to be a good end to it here. So buckle up. She's got the green on, so that's always a good omen. 5, 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
Let's wait to see what does happen right now. Back coming to the downside. We're going to watch RIVN quickly here to see where we go as PaySafe just bouncing around. There it is. So PayPal, we're into our first position right now. So position alert on PYPL just takes out that 400. And again, we thought this could happen, man. A straight shot to 400, then all the way back down. So let's wait to see what happens right now on PayPal. Long 400 and Rivian looking to take out 129.
Like an absolute rock, Sundial is already falling. So I thank you very much for waiting for me to get in. Obviously, like the market doesn't give a damn what you think. So falling like a rock. If I get a pop back into this 92, I'll probably take a shot. Rivian does. It looks like it did break 130
yeah, I got
there.
Long there.
I got a bad. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like a bad fill right now. As my thing doesn't want to load. We'll see what happens. But I like it. I think 126 is your level. Yeah, because it's a New York stock.
We're just going to wait for 126 to hit. I mean, if it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll move on from there.
There we go.
So I'm going to try to let this Rivian just chill for a bit. Looks like we will take an early hit on this because it's coming back to the downside. So this breaks 126, man. We may have just taken that high one more time. I hope it still goes up, but this is what happens to us sometimes, guys, on these plays. We talk about taking the early breaks, and then they come back in, just like PayPal, just like all that stuff. AMD, another new position alert right now for AMD. We get that dip down, buy. That's what we wanted, so let's see if we can make a winner out of this one. Right up again now, instantly up in the money now off that trade. We should have got out in the 70s there. We'll see if we can take a piece out in the 60s. We're long AMD 145.25. Damn it, coming right back in.
Yeah, and that backed comes right up to that 25. If it takes up 25.50, forget about it. Rivian, another test at 130 there, so it looks like it still has a chance to fail. I mean, obviously I'm going to be watching your Sundial, which is making a bit of a bounce, and if Sundial's going to make a bounce, my first fade is going to be in front of 95. I can take some in the 92 to 92.5 range for a first salvo. It's churning through volume. This is what I wanted to see. Like, it's 130 million. It's really starting to pick up on Sundial. Rivian is now through 132. So a nice little break there. I want to take some profit out on the way to 135, obviously, because $5 ranges are what we play with.
There it is. Bang. We'll take a 350 win right there. Spin it on Rivian. I mean, it's right on our sticky note, man. Take that pre-market break. Whatever that level was. I didn't care what it was, man. 130, 150, whatever. We were taking that break no matter what on that momentum. So that's a beautiful win for us right there. Straight away, man. Out 133.50, 133.50. Yeah, so good. That hit. Now we'll hold a little piece to go to the upside right there. Backed, not working. We do have our out, though, is going to be 26. So hopefully that comes through. Man, we were like literally, I told you, 24.02 was my bid. It went to 24.07 there. So no good on that one. AMD rips right up, back up to 146. We didn't take any out. So we'll take a 150 right there. Go AMD. A nice 50, 60, 70 cent winner. Let's go AMD. Next out here, 140. 146. That's ripping. $1 on AMD, or well, 70 cents on AMD. $4 now on Rivian, Neil. Your target is 135. It's coming up right now, baby. Let's go.
Well, I've already taken out in front of 135 at this point. Like I can pretty much hold it through.
Yep.
This is I got 134.20 because I mean, why not 420? That didn't even make any sense, Neil. It was kind of random. But if it breaks 135, I think I can look at a break at that price. There's no levels anymore, right? And I got out of backed. I'll do. Oh, I don't have to flush down 12. But anyways, flush that one down the toilet. I didn't want to hold on to it too long. I didn't want to be averaging into it. It's just one of those, it's 10 o'clock that the call comes in. I didn't want to get caught off base. I took a couple of early salvos into sundial. Candidly, for about half the shares, I was shorting it in the morning because I feel if it's going to make this pop after a wipeout bottom, I think the bigger level is going to be $1. I'll play it into 95 here. I would only add maybe like a double up in the position if it fails at 95. So I want to see it pop into this range, and if it fails through there, I think we're okay. We are wanting to monitor Tesla. It did pop down. It managed to hold just about $5 lower than that 1050 area.
Oh, really?
And then you're seeing it sort of struggle to get $5 above that 1050 area. So nothing is happening on Tesla is the best thing to think about. So this market pretty stable. It makes me like the Rivian long. I mean, if Tesla was falling hard, maybe I'd consider shorting it. And then XPeng was the other one that we liked. Oh, load, it's always a New York stock. XPeng is the other one we liked. It did make a bit of a break at 50. I was right at the open when Rivian came in, so my attention was there. For now, it's a failed break. If it holds 49, I'll look for a re-entry on a break of the high of day, which is 50.25. So basically the same opportunity, and 25-cent difference.
All right, so right now $4 still on Rivian. AMD, man, we just let's ring the register on that one. Watch out for your screens because here comes a punch right there on that. I mean, we perfectly. I mean this is exactly as we thought would happen on that. We talked about taking some 145s back inside there, right back to these levels, and then getting ready to rock and roll at 140. So that's why 144. So that's why we take them out right there. 40 cents and then $1, about 75 cents right there. Now we're going to hold one last piece just in case. We did have to average into our PayPal as that's not working out great, man. Our PayPal back down. We take that against this bottom. So let's see if we can go back to the upside. We're long at 202.96 right now on PYPL. What's up, Brendo?
This right at the open there, guys. This Altamira Therapeutics coming out with some positive efficacy data for a nasal spray protecting against SARS-CoV-2, specifically the Delta variant. So CYTO off to the races here on huge volume.
There we go. I got my stop order out now on, XPeng, just in case it does make that break. It's 50.25 we like there, so if it goes, it goes. I didn't talk about root. Apologies there. I didn't mean to ignore it. It just wasn't moving in the pre-market. I like 650. It needs to hold a 560 level up to the downside. Not a lot of volume here. You want momentum to come in. Otherwise, you might have to wait on that one. It doesn't look like it's going to get a secondary push today. Sundial does make that pop into 95. I wait to add. You can see my price ends up being 93.8, so I did put on more shares here than I would have earlier on in the play. I don't even want to give it that much room. To me, if it takes out this lower high 96, I don't feel like this makes any sense to be holding this all the way through to a break of $1, right? To me, that's a separate trade. $1 is too big of a level. I'd rather take a break. It looks like it was a good wipeout bottom there. And at this point, I'd risk about 2.5 pennies, which makes a heck of a lot more sense to me. There's a monster level at 95. I think even if it breaks, 96 is a better level to play off of. And then Rivian on the pullback here, it still hasn't taken out, just got the XPeng long, still hasn't really taken out this 126, 127. So one more dip buy in front of this 126, and then I have to start thinking about it could be a reversal day.
Yeah, this XPeng you just mentioned there, through this high, just had a huge alert go off there, 49.50, leading some of the EV makers to the upside, guys.
We just took another bid here on Rivian at 128, so I just said it's tanking. It is, pretty much. Good out there on that first one. We'll reload it. If it takes out 26, and unfortunately we'll be flat on the stock here today, as, we're going to give it back here if it does take out that 126, but we're going to try to stay long here on Rivian. Alert, because what was not a good idea yesterday to buy PaySafe, we're hoping today is a good idea. So we fall right back into this area. Again, we're still waiting for $4 to break. If that breaks, then obviously that's not going to be a good sign for your boy, but that's what's happening right now with me and PaySafe. We did take a position here. It's a decent one against $4. I mean, it's going to be 25-cent hit here if it breaks, and we're well aware of that. We'll average in one more piece down here, but much lower, like 410 or so if it does fall in, because we have to protect that $4, right? I can't average in like 17s, 15s, and then I'll have way too many shares on a name that I don't trust, obviously. So let's just wait to see if it can get back up to something like this, like some of these highs, man. We'll take a little bit out back at 25, 26, just a little bit, and then we'll see if it can go. We don't trust this position at all, so we'll wait on that one. So far, that's all that we have on, man. PaySafe, Rivian, PayPal. PayPal here makes a move back up, gets us back to flat. Would be VWAP right there at 202.70. Our average price right now, 202.96. So hopefully we can get that going back to the upside. A big move down. There you go, man. NASDAQ. I called this earlier on in the week that this was probably going to be a negative week for NASDAQ. We have to see what number makes that happen. And just a big move to the downside right there. I thought we could give back 3 or 4%. I made that call at the beginning of the week. Then we lost 1.5% that day. And now we're going to see what happens here. But holding longs in a market that I think is falling down, not a great sign. So Rivian,
yeah, and with this market falling down, with that 126 goes, I'm out. I mean,
yeah.
I averaged it. I got back in. I mean, we took out some profit. We did hold on to some of that 30 break, and I got back in front of that 126. It goes. I think it's a short. Unity here, which has been a darling. I mean, telling you, we like Unity. It's just when you see this floor here, it's about 181.50. If this gets taken out, because it just put in maybe a head and shoulders trying to break back up above 187, Unity is a name that could have a bit of a bust down at 181.50. That was one of when the second the market started coming down, I was like, yeah, I did like Unity. We didn't talk about it because it didn't have earnings or anything like that, but I wanted to make sure we got to this name. Definitely could be a momentum play through 181.50 to the downside. I'm going to look to short that one if I can get it. It has to break. I only want it if it breaks down. I did get Sundial, of course. I mean, it doesn't have to make a push to... Load. It doesn't have to make that push into $1. Of course, there you go. But 96 was going to be that level. I said wait for 95. It pushes 96 and fails. So I'm going to add when it comes back into 95. I do want to make sure I'm covering on the way down in front of 90 even. Don't want to ignore the fact that it put in a great bottom at 88. That is exactly where it put the push in when retail came in at 7 even. That would have been that support level. So I want to be taking shares out on the way to 88, probably holding on to half to like 40% of it in case you get a bigger flush on Sundial. Like I said, you don't have to. You don't have to sit, like a lot of times I'd be sitting in a short in the pre-market in that one. I actually wanted it to pop. I did probably put on some too early, but I at least left myself some room when it came into 96 for the fade. If it holds 88 even, it's still in play for all those breakouts because that is your level from the pre-market and of course the opening range as well. So Sundial working. These other longs, I'll tell you, XPeng, the breakout in the down market, load, is not really going to be working out here. It has, much like Rivian, it's trying to hold the bottom end. I don't even want to give it past 49. I wanted to risk $1. I ended up having to take a 50-25 break, so I'm now risking $1.25 plus slippage. There goes Unity. I just got that to the short side. So the breakdown in a lot of names starting to happen. Don't want it to happen in XPeng, but my stop is going to be clean at 49.
Yeah, I have, okay, PaySafe, I see you. Just to get a little bit right there on PaySafe. Oh, I was going to look at Roblox quickly, so that's why I have this up. Now that you bring up Unity, this is a good break right here, $100.50. If we can get that break, then we're going to take that and then use 99 as our bottom. So if we could take out the highs there on Roblox, we'll do that. It's been a good trade here. Obviously, we called this bottom. I'm actually long down here, kind of, didn't take anything out at 108, which maybe we should have, and we will if that happens one more time because we've double topped there, even on the daily chart. But right there's that 150. So if we could take out that $100.50, we will go long and then use 99 as our route. It's $1.50 worth of risk to try to make up to that 108, 105, 106, something like that. We would love for that to come through. So right now, Rivian, good reload down there at 128. It's just bouncing off 129 right now. Our average price is now 129. We took a 130 bid and then took that out for $4, which is good, or 350, whatever it was. So now we'll wait to see here going. Okay, there's back. Did back just break? What happened to back? Yeah,
back call in 20 minutes.
Yeah. So it just broke. So I got out of back there. So that's going to be a loser. Just realized that loser there. Should have gone long through 26 as it's now busting to the upside. So we can cancel that. I can't believe that we missed that by 5 cents right there. That was stupid. Sometimes that happens, but we'll move on from it. So right now, there it goes, man. PaySafe finally up to 25. live. Rivian starting to go. Roblox, we just got into Roblox as well. So let's see if that one can work to the upside. Roblox, right now we'll find some areas of possible resistance to get out. So I'm looking at 104 maybe for our first out, guys.
I'm going to ring the Reggie on some of this Rivian at that VWAP, that 129. It is that previous pre-market high at 129. And I said if this happened, it's not a fail break at 130 because it took you to 135. But if we immediately slam back and then put in a lower high, below this 129, 130 area, and this 126 breakdown is going to be in place. I want to make sure I'm grabbing some profit in there. I'm looking for a place to add the Unity, but I want that to settle down a little bit. If the market continues down, I think that's probably going to be a good short because there's a lot of momentum to the downside. That XPeng long did stop me out, so we'll do that. For XPeng, at this particular point, with these both breaking down, I don't want to short XPeng. I'll leave that to Rivian through 126 as there it goes. I didn't get the short. Gimme always gets. Yeah, gimme always gets. So I just got the Rivian short there. Actually, it's that thing we have to, my other stop canceled because it was like they both thought it was me selling my position. So now going to be short at 90s here on Rivian on that 126 break. There was a level pre-market down here at about 124. I definitely want to consider getting some out in front of it because I like scalps on break trades. And anytime it's a key level break, I want to make sure I'm doing a scalp trade for some of it on momentum. It allows me to then short any kind of a pop that it might put in. Sundial's now at 88 cents. I have exactly half the position when it broke 88. So that went to plan so far. I'm not saying Sundial is done for the day, but sometimes if it doesn't make that pop initially off the open, then it looks like the buying is just not there for it today. So I know there's people that are hoping this one probably goes, but it's not dead yet, I suppose. But at the end of the day, it does have a history of selling off initial flushes.
Okay, so there it is. We'll take a $1.20 there on Roblox as it stops at 102. Now we can hold the rest for that 108 or whatever we're going to take right there. Well worth the risk, man. This had $1.50 worth of risk. We just take out the $1.50 right there on a part, and now we'll wait to see where it goes to the upside. We got out as well on Rivian. I didn't go short, didn't pay for shorts, but now we do, and we'll wait for it. I don't want to go short Rivian yet. I know Neil just talked about it, so we'll wait to see. There is obviously some nice levels down here as well, so that short could come through for sure. There's that level right there, 124 that Neil was talking about. So definitely something to watch out for right there. PaySafe, 4 cents now in the money, and we've been taking this out on the way up. We just got a 27 as well. So we're still in a lot of these shares, man. We haven't taken out that much, but PaySafe's starting to work as well. What's up, Brendo?
I keep seeing this Everspin Technologies, which is MRAM. Yeah, they make memory. This is XPeng, guys, but have a look at MRAM. Big volume, just made a 52-week high.
I'm telling you, man, it's like it goes from like hot to cold to like hot. It's ridiculous in here. That's all I'm going to say. So, Ride, I'm not ignoring Lordstown. Yes, they had earnings. Yes, they delayed. But it was short at 650. I wanted to reload off of this level at 630. I just got it like a couple of minutes ago. And I'll probably take more shares if it goes to the 640 level. Those are the only two prices I want to sell because 655 is going to be your top on Unity, which looks like it's been, kind of barcoding here. Off of this bottom. I was looking for a re-entry. I wanted to retest VWAP. I think if I reload on Rivian, it'll be closer to VWAP. And Unity, I want to play the same way. So if it gets to 182.50, fine. If it doesn't, I guess I'm not going to have a secondary trade in it. And as far as Sundial goes, just to go back over this one, now that it's broken 88, I'm looking to cover some in front of 85. It was a 72-cent stock before. So 75 probably makes sense for an ultimate target. Miss V at the big screen.
Hey guys, recent earnings reporter Blink spiked to the upside at the open and now is up around 11%. Do you see any opportunities in Blink for yourself?
We forgot this stock.
Blink and you'll miss it. Okay, Blink charging. Let's have a quick look at this at $40. Obviously we see that the infrastructure bill is going to get signed on Monday, apparently by President Joe Biden. So that's going to be good for Blink charging, but it's already been on a nice, beautiful run here. Wow, off earnings. I believe this was the earnings day that's today. This is a 20-minute chart. The earnings, I believe, was earlier on in the week, if not late last week. I don't know. I can't remember when earnings was. But right there, you are taking out some of those tops. Wow, 43. Did we actually touch 43 today on that? Yes, we did. Wow. So a big move up, back in. 37.50, 39 here. Maybe for Blink charging, you're already up pretty huge. Let's check it out on the daily chart. Maybe that would give me a better idea on when the report was. Yeah, so I think it was probably earlier on this week. Blink charging already already taken out the 200 period back here, 36, 35, 50 or so on Blink charging. So we will have a look at this. For me, it needs to come into about 39, which we're getting close to right there. Let's see if that can work for us. We did take out, I mean, PaySafe. Look, I mean, if I'm going to take 10 cents on PaySafe, that's good for me. I mean, a decent position will take some of that out, but I'm still waiting for more. So now we only have about 70% left on this name, but I don't have any offers until 34. So hopefully that can come to the upside. Rivian, I know you're short, Neil. I mean, it's good. I think a short against that 130 might be something that I'm looking at. So I'll wait to see if that can come through. Also a 130 break long, I don't mind as well. So right now I'm sort of turned up on that, but I'm not turned up at all on this one. All we're doing is spinning this for Roblox. Good call. Thank you for whoever mentioned Unity. That put my mind into the metaverse, and there it is right there, Roblox with a beautiful, beautiful move, man. I'm really happy with that. Sorry, Trader Prad, but Roblox making that money move right there back up to the upside.
He really doesn't like it.
He doesn't like the game, but I mean, I don't think he makes comments on the stock. But
No.
What's up, Brendo?
Just checking out Western Digital, guys. Not seeing anything initially, but having quit the day here, almost 5% for WDC on top of big move yesterday, if you remember, but 60 up to 61.75 here. Nice move for WDC.
So while all this is going on, this is Tesla here. So it makes that break. It finally gets to that 44 to 45 area. Now you're seeing it flush. It got down to 10.30, it looks like. I mean, that's part of it. It gives me a little bit of confidence, or a little more confidence in sort of the Rivian and the Unity idea if this is going to be weak in today's action. But Tesla, not exactly, it's not as bad as it was the last couple of days, guys. And when it comes over to NVIDIA, I want to talk about some of the chip makers as well, because NVIDIA just broke down through 300. It just took out the low of the day. So the short is coming through on some of these.
Yeah, I was going to say, woohoo, let's go, because right now there's AMD, man. We talked about bottom picking that name, man. We put on the big position here on that, and then just rips up into the 60s, man, and we get out of that one. So see ya, adios, amigos. AMD, we're going to still play off that 144, man. You break this 143.90, we're gone on that. So we'll temporary win for us. And hell yeah, the money we lost yesterday, not back yet, but pay safe. So let's let Sleeping Giants lie here, because yeah, it went for a big sleep the last couple months on this one. So hopefully it needs to wake up and get going. So there we take out another 33. Short on Coinbase. So a new position alert right now. We had this idea based on crypto, but crypto's not really going down right here. So I'm not in love with this break. It does break there. How did I get 30? Like, that's a 50-cent worth of slip there. I don't know. I guess that's true. Look at the spread right now. So we are short 34.50. Not worried about it until we sort of take out this level upside. That's not a great fill. I wish I would have. Again, I put this order in the pre-market, so it's not a huge position, but still one that I'm a little bit worried about. 338, we'll get out of this one if it does take out 338. Look at AMD, man. Big shares, big win right now on AMD, so let's wake up and hit the cowbell. Another trade that we've given to you guys. In here, out, and then in again, and let's just kill this stock one more time, guys. Come on, PaySafe. Come on, AMD. Let's go to the downside, Coinbase. What a good morning.
I'm going to ring the register on a ride closer to $6, but looking at Blink here, again, this is a big break. It's almost exactly the same chart as Rivian. A big break, makes a bit of a low here at 38.50, manages to hold it for now, but if it can get back to that 40 level, a break back out has to take out, VWAP, I have to think. So this might turn into a bit of a fade for the rest of the session. That Unity, I never found my way into reload. Much the same way 130 was to 126 on Rivian for the long. I'm playing the same way for the short side of the trade. It's got to be out at 130. Unity, I didn't get that reload. It is now through the bottom. If it breaks 180 even on Unity here, then I'll start taking profits first in this 178 to 179 area, and then possibly down to this 175. So Unity starting to flush. As the market teetering, I mean, the NASDAQ is exactly flat. It's gone red, it's gone flat, it's basically right in a holding pattern. If it breaks any further here, I mean, Tesla would be a big one, but Unity and some of these other names could really flush.
Yeah, Unity, yeah. And that's why I'm a little bit nervous for Roblox here. We are 250 now in the money, so if nervous is not maybe the right call there, but we are up now to that 204, 104 one more time, which was this top right there. So let's put an offer at 104. We thought about waiting for the 108 break, upside maybe 106 maybe as well. But again, we are sort of in some of these names already. We're in PayPal, we're in Roblox long, we don't have anywhere, we're in Coinbase short, which isn't working out. So We do have a lot of exposure to the long side right now, which makes me think that this Roblox coming out maybe now at 103 is a pretty good spot there. So if we can get 103, let's just take it out and put that $2, 250 in our pocket. If the market continues to go up and Roblox continues to go, then fine, we're a shareholder. But for today, I think this is a good move. We're too long the market right here. So let's just let's take some pieces out here on Roblox if we can, and go over to Brendan right now.
I was trying to find this Hyzen, HYZ, and another EV name. I was trying to find a picture, but I'll get that to you. 24% here, guys. Day highs. They reported pre-market here better than expected for Hyzen, another one from the EV group.
Heisenberg, we know who that's. What's my name? Anyways,
Root that hat next time.
Root finally goes down to 560. That was that level. I think if it can hold this outside of breaking 650 or catching better volume, this would be the only place I'd be interested in acquiring along. So it's a double bottom here at 65. If it can manage to hold this up for the next, until about like 10 o'clock, maybe consolidation would be nice, and then you might have yourself a little bit of a long backed. The call starts in 6 minutes. I'm out of it. This was a losing trade this morning. Probably could have taken small wins on it, but now you're seeing it break to the upside. I'm not doing a thing until that call starts and you get the movement through in some comment and commentary on that name, guys. So I would trade it at your peril. Obviously, if you're not actually ears listening to the call, you can get absolutely run over on any headline. Lordstown is now below VWAP, so I got bids in front of 6. I'll probably park one in front of 610 as well. Not to ignore it. It's just it hasn't really been any trouble. It's short every single pop, and then it works out.
Guys, we on fire right here. Look at this NEO trade. Long 42.25. Tick, 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 all the way up. Like, again, we're not trying to look these in the face, man. A big bid there. Hit. We talked about where we wanted this one, and there it is. Bang with NEO to the upside, man. Things working out for us today, man, that's for sure. As NEO's starting to go to the upside right now. Like some of these positions, just for example, obviously we have 4 times as many shares in NEO as we do in Coinbase or more. But again, look at this starting to go back to the upside right now. So that's a good trade for us. Look at AMD, man. This is starting to rock and roll again. Bottom pick that. Now we're back up to these highs. Probably worth taking some out now on AMD. Your Rivian is getting, let's see if we get a 70. There we go. So,
yeah, it's close to that 30 mark. So it's right here.
Yeah, 130 for Rivian right now. Starting to go again. I think we should test another break on Rivian, guys.
Yeah, 130 is that big level. Someone just jammed some shares at 80. That wasn't me. I mean, I got some shares in front of it, but it wasn't at that 80 level. Unity's also making a push back in. I would be more concerned about Rivian than I would about Unity making a push, because the NASDAQ is still looking relatively weak. We're still within that range of 130, held 126, and then gave you 135. If it breaks 130 again, I think 135 is your resistance point. Obviously, that kind of goes without saying. That's on Rivian. Ride is not doing a heck of a lot, but we have forgotten this news. Apologies there, because we were trading this in the pre-market. And this is that coffee maker company. Oh, come on, give me a break.
Coffee.
It's one of those.
Coffee.
It's one of those. It looked like it was left for dead. I took a break at 650 for a scalp trade because that 7 even is a big level. If it puts in a lower high around the 630 we're consolidated before, might be worth, if you're short already, I guess a reload. For me, it would be an initial position because I'm obviously not in it.
Yep. Okay, so that was like a good short there at 130 on Rivian. We can check it back out there. It touches that 130 and drops back. So that's a 129 is where my VWAP is. That's volume weighted average price, ticking out there at 129. So a 130 break should give us enough cover to get back to 128.50. So about $1.50 worth of risk right there is what I'm looking at for a Rivian possible break right there. NEO, man, I mean, bottom tick that, boom. Thinking about getting this out at 43, but look at the NASDAQ. We're making those bottoms, and we sort of, now we can tick back up. So if that wants to go, then we do have that one. Wow, what a big win for us right now on AMD. Like, yeah, let's just go, Canada on this one. Right back here, right back in. So good bottom picks. We'll see if we can take some out there. PayPal starting to move for us. PaySafe as well. This has been nothing. The only thing we screwed up today was been my worst stock of all time, which is just backed. So there it is. So now we're into Rivian right now, breaking through that 130.
Is that a failed break? Oh, no.
Yep. 130.20. It's the same thing you did the first time. We'll give this back a little bit here to 128.50. If it breaks that, then we'll get out of Rivian. But
I'm giving it like a 10-15 count. If it holds below 130, then I want to get back in. If it doesn't, I'm not going into the long trade here. I mean, if you guys like it, you can take the long. I'm not going into it. I'm just going to wait for 135 here. Once it broke that trend, I kind of need to see it take out a fresh high before I get back into that name. That's just the way that I want to play it. Tesla made a big bounce. Why is that still on news? Tesla just made a bounce here off of the bottom, which, I mean, it was leading the market to the downside. You had a wick bottom through 130, 1,030, I should say, and it's trying to get above VWAP here. If that reclaims that 145 area, sort of the bottom end of that range from before, I think this one could be running. Unity also stopped out, so the short that's working, I guess the lowest hanging fruit or ride, the sundial, that's an obvious point there.
Go Rivian. Oh, we're close, man. We're waiting at 40 to get out right now. We talked about taking about $1.50 on this. Obviously, we get that bad tick to the upside. Let's go. Let's see if we can't take this one more time. Bang! There it is. Yes, sir, man. No fail break on that time. But like Neil mentioned, we've already been up here. So let's wait. We'll see if we can hold on to another piece. The last time we did that, it was a loser. So we do have a nice back out right now. Breaking back through 130. I think we could probably take this out on a break back through of 130. So a good trade so far for me, obviously there on Rivian as we make back some of that cash that we gave up earlier on, guys, on Rivian.
Yeah, and just got some out on ride, so we'll take that up. But I want to come back over to where is it? That root trade. It's still, so it makes a bit of a bounce here. This is now 3 times off that 562. 562 was the exact price break from yesterday. I know 65 is more of an area stop, but it bounces off 62. You're now catching a bit of a bid. This will be the goes. I'm just going to park myself. It doesn't have enough momentum that I think you have to get into it too aggressively here. Might as well just give it like a 560 stop. If I can get into that long trade passively, I'll go ahead and do that. Hang on to the 2 shorts that are working, flush the other ones down the toilet, and then come back to, in 2 minutes, this call is going to start on backed. Obviously, it's had a big time move here. The first thing I want to look for is if it does a pop and fail off the high of the day, the pre-market high sits at 27.40. I think that's a tradable action. Otherwise, I want to sit it out and let it settle down. But in just about a minute or so, we are going to get that call starting on backed. Any initial push, I think I want to be fading it. If you do look at the 15-minute chart here, above that pre-market high, there's a few failed breaks at 28 even. That's why I think a failure at some of those highs is probably the only trade that I want to put on as the call starts.
Yeah, so watch out for that. A couple minutes. Good look there, man. You cannot forget about that. So the only position that we really have a problem with here today is Coinbase, because it takes out that 335. If I actually had 335 short, I wouldn't be so, not upset, but so nervous about this. But we did get a bad break wick. And it wasn't bad. It's just I didn't realize, and I should have, because, hey, I'm a trader. My name is Sean. What's up? But I should have realized the spread there. So I did cross down, and we get the cross fill. So unfortunately, that's what happened. I crossed all the way down to 334.50, and we get 54. So again, no front running my orders, because I'm the one running them all the way to the downside. So we'll see about that right now on Coinbase. Hopefully it can tick down. Just a quick check in here on some of the crypto names, as Bitcoin not doing anything. If we can break back down below 63, especially this low, 63.3, I guess. Sorry, 63.250 right there. If we can break back down below on that, then I believe we'll have some Coinbase love. Just so you know, I'm not waiting for the moon here on Coinbase. Like I really think that if we can get a 333, like if I can take a $1.50 on the first little piece of this, just because it's not. I thought this would be a much cleaner break down. It hasn't been that way. So if we can get a 330 something down here, 333, we'll take that. But this has just been a great day for me so far today. Unlike yesterday. Yesterday was a great day. We finished positive. It's a fantastic day. But I was more relating to PaySafe as we take that 20 bid, exactly the bid that we have on our list here, 420 or 420. Yeah, we took 421s there on there. So that's what we have on that. And now upside, look, we've just been, it's funny because it looks like a Christmas tree here, green down here, red upside, but you could see just getting out. It's not taking out the high. And I said we'd be patient. We now have 50% left on this trade. That's not super patient. I understand that. Yes, sir. Look at Neo. Yes. Wow. Good chart for me on Neo today. Check out this one, guys. Look at that bottom. Boom. 42.25. Out. And then we hold that last 25%. Get it out at 43, as now we're starting to rip higher on this name as well. Come on, Coinbase. You can do it. And Rivian having a hard time at 132. So I don't know if this is going to go up or not, but Rivian having a hard time right here. The only person that's not having a hard time with his trades is Brendan. Reason why? He's at the big screen telling us what's happening now. Brendo, what's going on?
A positive end of the week, guys. Let's have a look at how things are shaping up so far. 0.2 and 0.09 for the composite in the 100 NASDAQ. So tech stocks trying to lead here is my point. The Dow 0.2 as well, back into positive territory after we did. You can see there, just briefly dip into the red. Same story for the S&P 500, the Russell 0.3. So small cap showing little bit of relative strength to wrap up an otherwise kind of negative week. A few things we were talking about in the pre-market here. XPEV does reject this high on the daily chart and gets absolutely slammed from 50 all the way back to 48, trying to bounce at 48 right now. Great opportunity to fade that if anyone caught that. Tesla, the other one, trying to bounce right now off of 1030, getting back into the range from the pre-market, guys, but never a dull moment for Tesla either.
So I just had to double check. I assumed that we had Blink charging free shorts. We do not have them. That just bounced off of VWAP there. And I'm looking at that. And of course, Rivian, I want to be waiting until that top end of the trade. I only want to take the prices that we like. Why is it ride? Who cares about that when we're in the money on that one? But Rivian, I only want to take the levels that I liked. It was at 130 for the break. It was then a dip by 127 into VWAP, and then the breakout 26, which we like the break all the way to 26. We like the break 26 all the way to 130. It looks like a lower high just got put in at 132.50. And if that's the only, if this is that top, it still has a potential for a bottom break in here. So I'm either shorting off the high or playing it off a bottom break. In the middle, I don't like it. I think you have a decent chance here. That BKKT, by the way, I think you have a decent chance that not a lot has happened on the call. That doesn't mean something couldn't come of it. I'm still going to play the same plan, even though you're seeing, don't get lulled into a false sense of security unless you're actually listening to the dang thing, which did start 3 minutes ago. I do feel like it's likely to make a pretty big move. I'd rather have it move first and then react. Shorting a pop is the only way I want to go. I don't want to long any kind of a dip that it does have. And then Sundial, I don't think there's going to be any, well, I shouldn't say any, too much concern with this. I thought it might pop back into VWAP here, where I would reload. Initially was starting positions at 91. It's not even giving me that, so I might just hang on to this and Lordstown and Tesla, which we just talked about, making that break. It's now trying to hold that 1045 level. So, we talked about that range, 45 to 55. If it holds the top end, which it's struggling to do now, it can be an entry off of like 46 or so. Maybe you give it back down to 140 for a scalp into that high of the day. Well, not the high of the day. I guess that opening range high, about 1055.
Yep. So right now AMD starting to go. So AMD getting a little bit excited here. A nice move, definitely up to the upside, man. This is $1.50 winner right now for us on AMD. So a big move actually now to the upside for AMD. So really happy with the way this one's pairing out. Never happy when we get out too early. We may have done that on NEO, but it's still bouncing around. We got out shy of 43. We got out at 42.85 off of a 42.25 long. So that's 65 cents right now. Pay safe, man. Let's go. Let's just spin it today. Opposite day today for Pay Safe. As today we spin the money candles out on this one up to 37. We'll see if we can take another out right there. And then we're going to hold for 50s. We're just taking out the day's high, hopefully here today in the pre-market. We picked that bottom up right there on Pay Safe. So we'll take another tick at 37. Just come on. Hopefully we can get that tick and we'll get out a sum anyways on Pay Safe right now. So that's going to look to be a good trade for us. Well, it is already a good trade. We can't lose on this name. But it looks like there's some size there at 37. So let's see. We just got ticked out at 36. Did we get 37 print there? Yes, we did. So something there printed at 37. So we'll take that fill there. A lot of dark pool prints happening. So, you got to watch out for those as well on this call. So a big win for us now today on PaySafe. Like, hallelujah is about all I can say for that one. PayPal. So, I mean, look at the barcoding here. Like, this is ridiculous. We talked about taking a 204 break. This happened to me yesterday. Actually, you can see yesterday as well. Oh, no. Well, the trades aren't there yesterday, but the exact same trade happened to me yesterday right there. And then this fell down. And so I don't learn my lesson, and we rinse and repeat it one more time. This time we're going to try to get some out at VWAP. It's bounced around this 202.30 numerous times. Obviously, my out's going to be down here, a 200 break, but if that happens, that's pretty sad, and I'm really hoping that's not the case here for PayPal. So hopefully gets back up. We're able to take some out here at VWAP. I don't like it because, look, the market already bounced, and PayPal didn't. So that's a problem for me. Obviously, their stock isn't doing well, and if they're not following the market, then yeah, not super excited about that one. Come on, man. PaySafe's still working, man. Still working. Like that one up to 39 and 40. My next offer's at 48. So let's see if we can get that. I think I'll put a 44 in there. Why not? Let's put a magic 44 number in there and see if that can come through on PaySafe. But a big win for me today.
I see you guys on the MTTR. Their Matterport making a big breakout at 2280 here. I'm just going to see what it was a big volume spike as well. So it's a 3D printer play. They did report yesterday, and I watched this lower high potential at 24 even. Maybe that's why it sold out, even though the volume was fantastic on that potential break. You got a double top here on the daily chart as well. So strong mover. The volume's still under 1 million shares, by the way, so I would be at least a little bit careful with the day trade. But this is what it looks like on the 15. Cleanly breaking through this like 23.35 area as well on the march up. So 24 stands out. This 25.50 definitely looks like a good level. There's a buyer on Sundial at 86 even. Well, I mean, that's going to make it look worse than it is. There's a buyer now at 86 even. That's why you see it for the last few minutes hold up here on your minute chart. If it gets through that level, I think it retakes a low. If this guy can hold it, a decent chance it makes a run at VWAP. If this breaks VWAP, I might actually consider covering at 91 and then looking for a retest of some of those highs, because that's a bit of a wipeout bottom. And if this buying gets pretty serious, I want to sit there digging into like a secondary push up on Sundial. A lot of times gets you into trouble. My worst trade ever on Sundial was when I was short pre-market and it was great, or at the open and it was great, and then it retested later on in the day those highs. I just average in all the way up and got blown out. So not going to be doing that on Sundial if it holds this low at 86.
Just looking for some different names here. SoFi down 0.7 right now, not doing too much. Peloton just broke 50, so we can go over and look at Peloton quickly here. No surprise. I mean, it's just been a disaster. It's down 2% right now. It didn't just break 50. It broke 50 a little bit ago, but there's the move down to 49 and change. Look at this level right here, guys, from yesterday. So 49.15 possibly there for Peloton if you want to pick something up on the downside. Rivian right now, we are short. We've been short this thing for a bit now, just trying to think that. I told Neil when it was up here, even when I was long, I was like, this feels like a short. And then
I felt that old.
Yeah, so we're basically flat on Rivian right now. A couple ins, a couple outs, but we'll see right here, 128.75. Maybe Rivian eventually cracks lower here. So that's what we're looking at with RIVN.
Yeah, I mean, it's now put that lower high in. It still sets up for a bottom break potentially. 26 might have been, the 25 might have been the better level there. But I'm looking now at 128.50 because if it breaks that, it could be another short. I still am holding on to Ride Lordstown. Looks like it's going to be, it's holding that 6 even for now. But if that flushes, I think it's going to, you'll run out of bids here. Brendo?
3M just popping up there on some chatter, guys. Watch MMM. There's also this Newsy. I keep seeing volume alerts going crazy on this thing, all kinds of volume, but not much action here so far since the open for news, guys, up about 14%.
Yeah, that news is it's teasing you, right? Because you're like, oh, it's in play. It's got all these crazy volume spikes and it does all this barcoding, but it's really not moving. And that's the thing. Until it goes, you just got to walk away from it, or not get enamored by something, which isn't going to give you opportunities. We talked a little bit about that AMC news. It did catch a breakout. So I mean, obviously, I don't know. I probably should have talked myself into that 39.65 break. At the open, volume did come in and take it upside. It then failed at 40.50. It's right back below that 40 mark. Volume okay for now. Next traded likely, at least for now, looks like it's going to be that Rivian through 128.50 back into the downside. And this BKK team, and the longer it does not make a push through the top, the more likely I think it is that it might flush. So I'm now staring this 25 in the face. If that goes, I mean, it's not the prices that we had before, but certainly it's relatively close to what we were looking at before. So watch out for this 25 if it goes on BKKT. Brendo again?
Roblox trying to go here again today, guys. A couple days in a row here for Roblox, up 6%, back towards this 105 for RBLX.
Yeah, so Roblox was a big money maker for us today. It's actually going to be one of my number one. Wow. Paysafe is my number one stock. AMD is my number one. I mean, they're all bouncing right now, but that was a good break there at that 100 level. So really, really happy that we had that. We looked at $100.50 right there. We take that print. It goes all the way to the upside, and our last out is 103, of course. Thanks for that, Brendan, up to 104 and change. So if you're going to look at Roblox, you still have these highs in the past little while. So those of us that got long down here at 70 might, and I probably will take a little bit out here. I mean, we've made great calls on Nike, Nucor, Roblox, but they're only great if you can cash out, right? So Roblox right now back upside. Good call on that one. Thanks for bringing that to our attention, Brendo. And here we go, PayPal. So hopefully now this can start to go. We got some out right there. Now we'll start to go to the upside. Look, boom, 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 boom. Nice little, actually, I just wish I didn't take that, but we talked about doing that. And I know Neil preaches this, so do I. Obviously, you got to stick with your plan. So there on PayPal, we wanted to get something out. So we did take a quarter out there. And then make sure, yeah, another quarter there. So we still have a half left on PayPal, and nobody is going to get me out of these shares right now. If you know where that's from, put that in the chat.
My bad.
I don't think anybody heard, so we'll see if anybody knows what that's from or who coined that. They're the nobody, so you can check that out. If you are from the GTA,
well,
then you would know what that is. So let's go. Upside on PayPal. Put some more bids in here now. Now we can get, where is it? My favorite. Okay, I'm reloaded. All right, so we'll reload back down here at 202 if we have to. But right now, PayPal, man, what a day, because boom, hit the confetti, man. We did not re-up our long-term position, but we make that bread today and spin it on PaySafe. What a difference a day makes. I said I wasn't going to have a good day today. Remember that, Neil, in the open? I said, I'm not really feeling it today. You said, don't say that. And yeah, so thank you for the positivity vibes, as there we go, PaySafe making that cash to the upside. So, so far so good on this one. Rivian, $1 in the money. Man, it's a Friday, and it's a Friday. We get to go home today and see Home Sweet Home Alone, as that
Home Alone?
That IPO's on Disney Plus today.
Home Alone's on Disney Plus. Okay, good. I mean, it's a classic Christmas movie. I guess everyone
All of
watches
them are
that
on
time
there,
of
like
year.
all 5, and then there's a brand new one.
Look, man, there's a lot of
you weren't here when me.
There's a lot of Home Alone movies that I've probably seen only like the first 2 that were good.
Yeah.
Or maybe the others. I have no idea.
Former President Trump, of course.
He has like one line in the movie. He walks in. He walks in.
It's over there or something.
Yeah, he tells them where to go.
Yeah, he's like, reception's that way, kid.
Yeah. But he got a line in it. I would love to have a line in Home Alone. It's a classic, but you have to be the Macaulay Culkin.
I want a line like in Boiler Room, or like something, that's Rogue Trader. Yo, shout out to Nick Leeson.
Well, you don't necessarily, by the way, if you've never seen Rogue Trader or Boiler Room, those are absolute must for any trader. If you're watching EVGO, by the way, got back into Rivian and broke that 128.50. EVGO is retesting the pre-market lows at 18.75. I just paid for the short because apparently we didn't have locates. Kind of surprising there. And if it rolls over again, I'm looking for a breakdown of this 18.50 and then a stop at the recent high that it just put in here at 18.75. So about 25 cents worth of risk, and then a little bit of slippage on that one. Still, of course, in that sundial. Good news and bad news if you're long the stock. The good news is, well, the bad news is the 186 buyer broke. The good news is there's one actually bigger at 85. So, I mean, if that breaks, I wanted to short a pop here, but I'm probably just going to hit the bid. If 85 goes, I'm going to add to the position on the breakdown. If I can't get it higher, I'm going to give me a break. Give me shares. I'm literally sitting there talking about it. Like, give me a break, Neil. Sorry, guys. It's just I was going to put a stop in if it broke, and then it just started slamming the bid as I started talking about it. So able to get some shares in there. I've added through 85. So obviously my average price is now going to be like 88.6. And I was just sort of talking about it there. I can cancel the orders that I don't need on this bad boy. There you go. Obviously in that position, if I couldn't short the pop, it was a clear level. It was bigger than that 86 was on the bid. That's why I wanted to make sure that I'm adding to it. Now I'm looking at the bottom here at 82, 80 even. 75 is the ultimate target on sundial. As I was saying, anybody that's enamored with that notion of the buyback, it was for a fraction of their shares. I mean, this stock it's a lot of shares outstanding, man. Like the float's pretty big over that bill mark. And again, pops at the open. It doesn't make that $1 rig, which I think could have been good for the bulls. I'm going to play it to the short side. I was only shorting pops. Now we're going to take that breakdown. A couple of big buyers got taken out.
Did anybody guess? I don't think anybody. Oh yeah,
I saw them.
Yeah,
I
someone
saw
got
them
it. Someone got it there. Yeah,
got
Mel Lastman. Yeah, nobody. The bad boy. There we go. Scott Bray got it. A whole bunch of guys got it there.
His son does it now, right?
I don't know, because he was mayor at one point. I don't think that went over too well. But okay,
I've seen his son in the commercials though now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. His son's. Oh yeah. Sorry, I misheard what you said. Yes, his son.
I don't know his name.
Neither do I. So that's we can just move on from that. But you are right. His son. What is Mel Lastman's son? I mean, that's easy to look up for some of these people. I love PaySafe. Yeah, we all do, Mike, today. Anyways, and if you loaded up yesterday, congratulations on that as well. Look, you're only up 4%. We were down 40% yesterday. So we make back 10% of this horrible trade yesterday. But wow, we made back. We'll just go to Brendan. PaySafe's a good trade today. I'll leave it at that. What's up, Brendo?
Lucas was playing around with some stuff. So
Rob.
I just wanted to, I can mention this Coupang anyways. There was a couple of volume spikes on Coupang, guys. They reported aftermarket yesterday. Ends up being a bit of a non-event. So heads up for that one, guys.
Coupang, okay.
Coupang, I hate Coupang. One time, Greg remembers, Greg brought Where's Greg? Yo, what's up, Greg? I remember when Coupang IPO'd, we were in a meeting and I had the order out there.
Well,
and the next thing I know, I came back and lost a couple grand. So screw you, Coupang. That's something never to do. Never leave and I left it in on purpose too. Never leave an order in on an IPO unless you definitely know what's going up. That Coupang can go to hell in a handbag.
I've gotten burned on.
Look at PaySafe.
I've gotten burned where like I go to the bathroom and you cancel the order and then you come back and you forget to put it back in. Like that's been like the bigger problem for me. This is bottom wick on route, so it looks like I should have given it like a couple of extra pennies to that downside because look, it's managing to hold up pretty nicely there. I did get back into, like I said, that Rivian and Sundial. I've taken some out on the way down to that 80 level. It's for now holding 84. And Bakkt looks like Bakkt is doing absolutely nothing on that earnings call. It might have to wait till it's done. I have no idea when that's going to be, but it's really not moving. I do think it's going to be a play, but sometimes it has to settle down. This call is maybe lulling it to sleep.
Backed up the truck on that trade right there. Okay, so Coinbase looks like, so PaySafe, first of all, guys, I mean, this is what this is, man. I think we got to go casual more often here because today we are rocking. The only thing we screwed up was that Bakkt today. And it's actually, if we would have held it, it would have been fine. But we stay disciplined, man. We get out on that breakthrough 26. So that is Bakkt. And yeah, not backed by me today, that's for sure. Look at PayPal. Let's go, man. What is happening today? Big time move there on PayPal, right back to the upside. So hell yeah, as we go, man. We are feeling it today. This has been a good day for us, man. Palantir, I see that. I see you talking about Palantir. We forgot about it, Sar Baton there on the chat. What's up, Sar? Let's just check out Palantir. Yuck. We would have thought that would have been up today, but is it? Where did it close yesterday? No, it's still, yeah, it's down that 1%. We were looking at this today. This is why it's not on the sticky note today. Palantir just has not been trading very well.
I see you, Dominic.
Let's go PayPal. Screw you, Palantir, at this point. Look at PayPal. Right back, taking out day's high, making that money move to the upside. Come on, PayPal. We have no intentions of selling this bad boy anymore. Let's just go up to the upside now. We have this. Hopefully PayPal continues to cash in for us. PaySafe battling a little bit. Let's get out some more here at 50. I mean, we're going to have to ring the register when we've been ringing the register, but let's not forget that this is already a 6% move back up for some levels on PaySafe.
And PaySafe moving. Airbnb is basically the same kind of chart. It's obviously a different
Did
stock.
Airbnb get killed yesterday? No. Though.
Airbnb is just absolutely. But look where it's coming here on the daily.
Monster,
this is a monster potential level here. You basically based out at 188 for a couple of days. You broke back up. This is your head and shoulders pattern, and you're right here at 203.50. I think the top. I mean, this 205 level is certainly going to be one as well. So if you're long this, I wouldn't. Look, I'd be ringing the register. If you got a long breakout here, it's a head and shoulders pattern. And I look at this 203.50 to about 205 to be a resistance area. So it's a good one. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Dominic. Someone asked about Unity reload. No, man, I'm not reloading Unity unless it fails through that high of the day. I like that when it was breaking down. It's got to hold lower highs. It's got to show me signs of a turn before jumping into it. Same thing with Airbnb. Like, comes into this range here at 203.50. I don't want to blindly short it at that price. I want to see it fail first, and when it starts to roll over, then I can start getting into it. It's showing signs of doing it now, and I'm glad you guys brought it to our attention. That is a big, big level on that 15-minute.
Yes, and everything is going well today. So big day for us today. We are so super happy. Thank you so much for the 20,000 COPs right here. We'll look at Hood for you, Juan, in a couple seconds. And Dominic, what are you saying today? Airbnb. So Neil just talked about that. When we get back from Brendan, we will look at Monsieur Robin Hood for you, Juan. Thank you so much, man. We are just on fire. PayPal may be the trade of the day. Let's hit the dancing gorilla for that. Thank you, Jude. I really appreciate that. It means a lot to me, obviously, that you guys are watching that. For me, obviously, though, the trade of the day is not PayPal. It would be this one. AMD's for the win, all the way to the upside. Look at this AMD trade, $2 in the money and still motoring. I mean, PayPal's $2.50 in the money, but AMD, like, this is not one that we even had to average into, man. In, out, boom. Take that low bid that we called for you guys early in the morning, bang that right up to the upside. So really, really proud of trading today. I'm proud because all the levels that basically we gave, or I gave to you guys, were levels that I took, and I only have one in basically on a lot of these. We haven't done the best, obviously, on Rivian today. We're flat on that stock as it breaks back above 130. But other than that, man, I'm super happy, super stoked that everyone's able to take these trades with us today. And yeah, I hope your net is booming as well. Brendan, It's small cap recap. And guys, look, if this is another thing. If you grab the merch, you know, you can see what's happening with trading today and merch and casuals. So I hope all you guys are casual today. This is what we're doing here. Neil looking sharp. I'm looking sharp. Brendan always looks sharp. So on that note, let's throw it over to him with a small cap and a recap.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning, lots to look at. We were talking about this one right before the open there. EVgo doubled in a week. So 5 sessions, this thing's gone from just under 10 to just under 20. Was due for a bit of a weak start to the morning. I mentioned 1950 was the top end of the range from yesterday. Gave you a pretty good line in the sand kind of thing to work off of. Never comes into play. I was aggressively taking more of this on the way down just because of how weak the tape was. There was no bid whatsoever on the way down. So this goes from 1920 all the way down to 17 and a half in a straight line. So big bounce did happen there. So we'll see what happens. Might not be done for EVgo. RLX, another one, waited for the fail at the pre-market high. Once that failed, same thing. I was aggressively taking more on the way down. Comes all the way back into 480. Again, another one that might not be done. Yeah, Neil, I traded Sundial today. There's a first for everything, I guess. That one worked pretty well also, guys.
Realistically, if you're looking at small caps today, and you're not looking at Sundial, I'm not sure what it is that you're doing. Like the only, it reports earnings. That's when you want to trade it. So first quick shot at Airbnb, tight stop when 203 breaks. Now it goes into that, it was 0350, now into that 205, which was the other level on that little head and shoulders pattern. So I'm going to take another shot there. And look, you can sit there. And I'm not saying it's crazy because it's a $200 stock. Like you could probably sit there averaging into that level. Not really the style I like to play here. It's got an 0486 top. I would ignore that, and it needs to break 205 to get me out of the second salvo here. So, and if 131 goes in Rivian, I'm going to give up the ghost on that bad boy, trying to get into the short side of the trade. And it's a great look if you had this long break on Airbnb, and once it's put in that move, you know, I'm just thinking about where that head and shoulders came in. Unity is starting to think about it. It just failed at 187. It's trying to get back below that 186. If you're watching Sundial, it's holding 82.5. So the reload I got at 80 when it broke that 85. Still hanging on to some of that, but you know, obviously Sundial I think has a long way to go. If it's going to be a flush, it can certainly go further than that. Backed, I mean, there's not even anything to look at with that thing. It's kind of the stock that I thought, like backed earnings, I really thought was going to be good for a trade. Tesla still also barcoding here, basically showing you that consolidation. It is yet to break out as well. So I want to keep this one in the back of my mind as I'm sitting in the Rivian trade because, you know, I don't want this thing ripping to the upside because that's likely to carry Rivian with it.
So I'm just getting upset here at Coinbase because I could see crypto's not doing anything and neither is Coinbase. So, I mean, I can't be upset that it's not really doing anything and just upset that we have this short here. Would have been, if I was thinking short, I should have shorted it off the open, not waited for this 35 to break and then pay the spread, which is 50 cents. So that's a nasty spread for me to pay right there, but whatever. We'll just, you know, keep on thinking about it and why we did it. So we'll wait. It's cracked below. We could have taken out some profit there, about $1 there. We didn't do it. It's cracked down below as well there. That only went to 334. So I don't really have anything. I think it's wise to do something like this, a 337, and just get out right there if Coinbase does break back up to the upside there. But it looks like it could happen right now. I mean, it's just one of those things right now where it's not really trading that great for me, and it's bounced off too many times at this, there it goes, at this exact low. So Coinbase right now looks like that this will be a loss for us on Coinbase. And I don't know, it's not a huge position. This was in there early. I don't want to average in because it's not really doing anything that I like right here. I think this is a big pop up for somewhat of no reason right now. Unless crypto's starting to go, which it is. I could see ETH, yeah, see, so ETH now starting to go back to the upside right there. So that's going to cause this Coinbase to give me a headache. And let's just check out on the big boy here. And that's not really moving. This is a 1 minute chart. Bitcoin off of 63 there, bouncing up to 63.4. So I don't know. It's not really moving, so I'm not super worried about this, but at the same time, it's at a level here that I'm not too happy with. So let's take one more spot now. We'll average in at the top, and then if it comes back in, then we can get out. So and then we'll use like 338, 338.50 as our out. So we'll take one more spot here on coin, and hopefully that works out for us.
I see some people talking about Vinco Ventures. Is that actually?
BBIG,
oh yeah, well,
baby.
that's a bit of a spike. It just went 15 pence. That's not a huge spike, by the way. It's only like 15 or 16 cents. Volume only okay. But it is a bit of a top-end break. Well, sorry, no, check that. It has not taken out the top. This 465 comes in all week. So if it can take out this high at 66, then you definitely got something here. So I might have said, he just said it took out this level here at 460, but my mistake. 466 looks like the high on BBIG. I would let it take that level first before I would get involved. Airbnb, which we just got, might have looked a bit of a gift horse in the mouth there. It gave me a shot at 203s out for a scalp trade. Now it's looking to retake that 205 level. I mean, if this takes 205, like there is runway. Because this recent high here up at 211 feels like it could be in place. So this is 205, this is at 211, 212 area. For now, 205 is holding. That was the reload that we took. I took the breakdown and backed at 25. I got to go tight stop because as much as it didn't make that move into the upside, it didn't really do anything during the call. So I am looking to see if it flushes back down to some of those lows. I do favor the short side of this trade. But I'm going tighter stop. I'm not giving it to 26.5 here, only really giving it to this 25.5 tight stop because I was anticipating a bigger move. It didn't happen, and when it broke the bottom end of the range, that was enough for me to get back into the short, but I'm not going to be stubborn about it, especially when I don't know, exactly what was happening in that call. Sundial back up to 85. I've rung the register on about a third of the position that we re-upped on. I'm not giving the rest of it past that 86 where the original buyer was. So tight stop on Sundial as well. Airbnb this time, I don't want to look to get forced in the mouth. I'm taking some out in front of 203.
Yeah, I got to look at that Airbnb. So here we go. We're already $2 in the money right now. So we'll rain down some cash here for AMD. $2 in the money right now. We're going to get out if it breaks through 146. So we'll get out a little bit there. Just an update on PaySafe. We're almost out. So we have 2% left or something of our position. We've emptied this all out. We took advantage of it when it came up into 50. We took advantage of it when it broke back down through 50 as well. So my next out, 440 break. 440 break, we're gone. Out of all of our shares, we'll be out right now. So that breaks, we gone on that. So that's going to be out right there on a break of 440. And we will hit the proverbial home run right there on PaySafe today. So this could also be, I think we have a few trades of the day here. Thank you for the call on the PayPal, Jude. That means a lot as that just takes out the high. But I don't think it's the trade of the day down here, but we already knew that. I mean, this to me was easy. I think anybody, like Neil said, if you're looking at small caps, you got to trade Sundial. And if PayPal's even on your radar today, that was free money down there. So hopefully it continues its march to the high side here. We are bidding back in here in case it does fall, but I want to hold this. I think this is a PayPal day. We bought some yesterday again, and we'll watch to see a move back to the upside on PayPal. Coinbase, we're going to try to get in to some here if it does rip back up somewhere near VWAP. My average, actually right there at volume weighted average price, 337.40. We're waiting for that tick to come upside. We're out of this one $2, but I'm not worried about it, obviously, if you can't tell. We'll just wait to see where it goes. If it breaks above this 338.50, then we're out. It's going to be a losing trade because no matter how many shares you have there, if you get out at $4 loser, it's not going to be nice. So Coinbase, yeah, we definitely messed up on that one today, taking too low of a bid. We just got excited when it broke there and we left this order in. Like, we were 100% right on open. I mean, this absolutely crashed down, but there was no follow through. So you can be right as much as you want, but when it doesn't work out for you, you're wrong. So there we go on Coinbase, hoping to get more short. 330. I'm just telling you my trades, right? 337.50 right there, trying to get some short, and we'll get out if it breaks a buck higher than that. So, before I throw to Brendan, I just want to bring everyone's attention quick time on this. Because I looked over, I thought we were called for Brendan. Where are we, Lucas? Okay, so 1 second. This move. So you did not. I told you we're buying Disney third day. Third day we're buying Disney. So we didn't buy it up here today. This is the second day. So we'll wait to see what happens on Monday for Disney. But we're back down here, back down to that 160 area. What a fall on this name. I was not expecting this today for Disney. So that's, as I said, unexpected. What's up, Brendo?
BTB, guys, there's a few people wondering, I think, if this was crypto related. It is not. This is BitBrother. This is a chemical maker. Used to be a food processing company. So just making a day high here on volume spike for BTB. Another one that's been on a decent run over the past couple of days. It's 10:30. Let's get a quick check on how things in Europe are ending the week. Miss V, what's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are flat. Luxury stocks are among top performers, with Richmond trading in Switzerland is up more than 9% after it beat profit estimates in the first half of the fiscal year. Back to you.
Yeah, choppy overall, but trying to be positive so far, guys.
So that BBIG, I did get into this. It broke that 66, which was that high. It then tried to dip down into that I guess it was the pre-market high at 460. That's where I want to add. Going to give it to about like 55, 56 on a bit of a dip. If it goes down past these levels here into VWAP, then I think I want to cover it. Airbnb just keeps on sort of teasing me in here. Like it keeps on coming right down to 203, like 20. I'm going to move my order. It keeps on coming down to like 203.50. And then bouncing a little bit. And I was just sitting just below it. So there's almost no point in having a bid down. I should be inside of this range at 203.50 or waiting for a bigger move into the downside. So I'm going to go with the latter end of that. I'll wait for a bigger move to the downside. I feel like if 205 is the top, it should give me a better trade than the shallow win there. As BBIG potentially heads back into the upside, however, I'm not really considering covering anything until it takes out 470 as a top, some out in 475, and then start scaling it out as it starts to go to the upside, just given the risk to reward that we're putting on. So I want to have some orders out there. You can call them stink bids when it's going down. I have no idea what you call them if you're sort of layering it on the way up. I'm sure you guys can come up with a fun name for it there. It looks like sundial. And I wouldn't necessarily argue too hard against the notion that anyone want to try saying sundial is putting in the bottom. Yeah, it certainly seems like it's trying to. I'm not enthused about the notion of like reloading into this thing. I got that breakdown. It gave you some down into 82. Not nearly as good as the short offer the open, but at this particular point, if this is the low, I don't want to get caught on a march back up to a dollar. I've seen this game before on sundial, and you don't want to turn a winner into a loser. It breaks 86. I'm covering and looking for re-entry, and it actually might go in either direction in that particular case. As far as Unity goes, I think it was Jude was saying reload Unity when it was back up here double top. It's not that it was a horrible notion, but I took my short, got out here at 183. Now I'm looking at hold this 187. It's put in a bit of a consolidation range here, and this now allows you to say to yourself, two ways you could play this. Is your 15-minute chart. This is still a double top off of 189. And the reason why I want to be patient with this trade is because if it comes into that double top, I think that's almost a better failure than it failing right here. You can go 186 break with a 187 stop, or you can be giving it $4. I'd prefer to go two separate trades as opposed to putting it all in one basket. So I'm going to wait for it to break down 186 or make the break at the top and then play that 190.
Look, not only do I consider myself a super lucky dude because of my wife, but also because Coinbase came right back in. So we will, now it would be a nice win. This is exactly what we thought. But as it was coming back in, man, that move was pretty epic. Crypto's not going down right now. It's actually going up, and Coinbase made that move back to the downside. So we're going to consider that lucky. Scratch Coinbase off today and hoping that this move continues to the downside, as we still obviously have a piece on right now for Coinbase. But if I was able to get that out on the way back in, I looked at Coinbase and was like, holy, this just fell in. I was actually in the money temporarily. Then it came back up. So I said, you know what, I'm going to take this out. So right now, bang, nice one. I just consider myself lucky that we're able to get out of this Coinbase where it was. I just can't believe we didn't. We were trying to upload or reload. I just canceled my bid. This is a monster trade now. 334.50 down to 335. This is $1.50 now in the money. So you get out for flat, you hold the rest for $1.50, and now we'll watch this go up and down again, hopefully through on Coinbase. So a nice move downside there. Hopefully you guys held this. There's your buck clean right now. You could take this out and take your dollar if you wanted to. We're going to wait for a further move, obviously, coming back into the downside right now on Coinbase. But yeah, I don't even have a bid right now. So hopefully that just cracked. And if we're looking at Coinbase, that's that 335 that we look at. This is yesterday, 332. What's this bottom? 326. Okay, we'll take that. If we're going to come back down into 325 or so, that's going to be like a little bit of a target area for me on Coinbase. So let's pay attention to that and rock and roll, guys.
Yeah, and the target for the rest of these shares on Airbnb is going to be VWAP. It's always the retracement. So 205 does hold on that higher level, on that higher time frame. I did take that first leg. I pulled a bid back. You get a consolidation like this. It's an important point that, if you're sitting, I was sitting there in front of 203, and the bottom of this move was 203.35. So there's no point sitting just below that floor, because if it breaks it, it's going to flush. So you guys should either be inside the range or pull it back outside, which is what I decided to do. It ends up working out here. You can play it either way you want. BBIG took a shot at it. To me, it's a swing and miss there. I like that break. I liked waiting for it. If you took the pre-market high, fair enough. It actually gave you the win. I like the breakout, which I thought had more potential, which is through that 66. Once it went, I decided to engage in the long. Clearly, it didn't work, so I'll go pie in the face there. Unity. So decided to wait for it to break down as opposed to sort of get in this range here or get it on the way up. And now I can have 187 stop and risk about $1 and look for, if it breaks the high, look for another trade at that 190. Now this gives you a clean 2-to-1 because 184 sits at VWAP, so I'll park in front of 185, I'll park in front of 184 and get my stink bids in on Unity software there. Still in this. Still in Ride, still in Rivian, still in Backed, all three of those, not really doing a heck of a lot, but not threatening me in any shape of imagination to that short side of the trade. For those of you watching AMC still, it's starting to threaten. Remember that 39.65, which was the breakout, that pre-market high? It's starting to threaten that support. So like 3 times now it's tested just above it. I'd be watching out. If it takes out that support level, likely you are retesting some of those lows. So the air coming out of, I guess, that announcement earlier on that we brought to you, well, I guess you guys brought to us and we gave you the update on AMC accepting crypto. Not the first time they've talked about it, though.
It is not the first time, and we just got out of something. Oh, PaySafe just dropped out, so a good trade, obviously, for us there on PSFE, as that just came out at 39. So wow, ringing the register on that one, man. We'll go, mamma mia, why didn't that happen yesterday? And we'd be laughing at it even more. But today, so far, so good there on PaySafe. Nice move to the downside for sure, right there. PayPal tried to take out 205, missed it. We should have got out there. 205 was a good win for us, man. That would have been $5, or sorry, $4 there in the money on that one. And what is rocking to the new highs here today? AMD, guys, another cowbell winner for you on AMD, up $2. So I have these are both the same amount in the money right now. AMD's $2.37 in the money. PayPal's $2.50 in the money, and Coinbase is $1.50 now in the money. So a good day, needless to say. Very, very happy and excited to see Marissa. She's getting her hair did, but we're staying home to watch Home Sweet Home Alone with fancy hair. What's up, Brendo?
Elsewhere in the semiconductor group, guys, Xilinx just popping up here on some volume. This is all-time highs now for XLNX, so this whole group leading the way so far today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there an update on that deal? I don't know.
No, but I mean AMD right now. I mean, maybe there is something there because let's check out on Nvidia as well. AMD up to 147. Oh, man, I should have took that out. Well, I mean that's the pre-market high right there. So we thought we could have even got even more. I didn't even actually identify that as the pre-market high. So AMD, we'll still hold on to this. We're pretty happy. Canada authorizes use of Moderna's vaccine as a booster short. Okay, so that
was. I guess we.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that's. Yeah, nothing to see there. Wow, I can't remember. I remember when this was at 320 and I was like, short. And now you're all the way back down here, 220. So Moderna, not a nice ride for there. There's that 320 short that we talked about, tick to 300. Now you're making new lows right now on Moderna. I mean, obviously this Canada news, not a big thing. We're over, I mean, here in Toronto, I don't know exactly Toronto, but in Ontario, we're about 90% fully vaccinated right now. So 200, what is this? This is 190.
We're not big enough for that to move.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think this is moving.
I love Canada. It's just like it's only 30 million people in the country, and a lot of people already sort of
44 million. I know. Remember when we were in school?
When I was younger, I guess.
I know. I use that. The reason I know 44, 45 is because I thought it was the same.
And that's back when there was like 6 billion people in the world. Now there's like 7.7 or whatever it ends up being. So there's a bit of a bid coming in here at 202 on Airbnb. So I want to make sure that I don't give this one away. If it breaks 202, I like the out at 201. If it comes back into the high, I have no plans to average in at 205. Like that is a one-stop shop for me on a stock that's going this strong to the upside. If it goes up again, we'll just rest on our laurels. I'm considering whether I want to break out long at 205. I'm not there yet. Tesla, if you guys are watching this one, I mean, the longer Tesla does this, with the market trying to get back into the upside, it's not 1050, and I wish it was 1050, but this 1048, like over and over and over again. If this does break out, I think Tesla has a good shot to retest some of those pre-market highs. It is awfully sleepy. It kind of feels like it's that sleeping, slumbering giant or whatever you want to call it. Rivian is doing a heck of a lot of the same thing. I re-entered into the short when it broke 128.50. It came up. I missed the reload on a lower high at 130, and now it's holding VWAP here. So I got a target just below this 127 mark, and then I want to get some more in front of 125, then I want to look for a 125 break. So it was a good long, it was a good dip buy, it was in a bad short, and now in the short side of it again, and you are holding consecutive higher lows with the same floor, which usually is pretty bearish, but hey, Rivian has burned me to the short side the one time I decided to dig into it. What never burns you is listening to Brendan. It is time for our sector watch, and hey, we're only up 0.2 on the NASDAQ, but that board doesn't look terrible.
It's great.
Hey guys, as we were saying, kind of muted Friday. It's pretty flat, really, right across the board. There's a few things standing out here overall, but the action has been kind of calm so far. 0.15 for the overall market in positive territory. That's Micron, 3%. Right beside it, QRVO, and then XLNX just mentioned 1.4%, all-time highs. STX and WDC, we talked about a little bit, 4%, 8% to the upside in the hardware. HPE, though, offsetting some of that to the downside. Tech stocks are positive. That's about all you need to know. Some of the consumer discretionary names in positive territory. Etsy having a nice day, 2.8% to the upside. So these two are positive, helping to offset some weakness in banks. Financials are lower on the day, far corner there. Consumer staples also in the red. Everything else basically flat or thereabouts. Industrials, healthcare, communication services, and utility and material stocks. If you put them together, they're flat overall. So all the action coming from these two and the industrials so far today, guys. As I said, 0.16 for the market. Back over to you.
Someone saying fun is on. Oh my goodness, fun is having some fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You guys probably have better, like I said, if you got better puns, put them in there. Fun is a beast. Yeah, fun with a huge breakout. Oh my goodness. How do we forget about Funware when they're reporting? But, I mean, I hate saying but. Wow, this looks like, if you look at my chart here, it just looks like it's trying to load. Oh, remember when you shorted at 515 and it never got to that price? Yeah, I mean, the 15-minute chart not wanting to go all the way back, but it's good enough to show you the lower high at 460, which it's getting into right now. And I know DWAC moving as well. Tesla, I really wanted Tesla to break up. It just took out VWAP to the downside there. So if Rivian holds 131, that could be an interesting level to reload there. Either way, watch this 460 on Funware. Big time press. And as it goes into parabolic territory, yeah, I mean, I would probably wait for it to level off before even thinking about jumping in front of this freight train. And then DWAC, which I think some people were, I mean, obviously there is the connection that these two have had. You're going to see both of them moving together. So if you're not paying attention to DWAC when trading fun, you're going to find yourself in a world of hurt if there is a bit of a pullback on DWAC, which is getting to some interesting levels itself. I think a little bit closer to this. It's doing the same thing, this chart. Same thing. I was looking at it fun at 460. You're talking about 65, 66, which is only $1 away on DWAC.
Yes, sir. We're going to tweet this out. Thank you. Shout out to my wife here for this one. And we'll tweet this out right now. Here's a Brampton candle. So it smells like 410 traffic, Chinguacousy Park fireworks, Sonny's hamburgers.
You just need Sonny's.
Yeah, exactly. And Sandy Kennedy's real estate notepad. So you got to look that up to see what that means. But there it is, Real Talk Brampton candle right there. So we just tweeted that out. Follow me at Trader TV Sean, and we'll try to keep it
if you've
fun.
If you've never had Sonny's and you live in the GTA, it is one of the best burger joints there is, man.
So there it is. That is the candle for you guys to watch. And I only put that out there to follow us because there's so many, kind of imitations of our accounts. And like I said, man, we're never going to be talking to you about sending us anything for training or anything like that. What we're doing is live. It's here and it's free. So, and we're back at 2 p.m., by the way, as well. And right after this, don't go anywhere. We used to stop at 11, but Memes and Movers with Trader Prad and Miss V coming up. You want to see more Miss V? She's coming up for 3 hours. So get ready to rock and roll with that one. It's the mayor of Brampton himself, Brendan Wickens. What's up, my man?
The 410 does definitely have its own very unique smell to it if you are driving through that area. BKT, guys, does break back to the downside, held above 25, gets back below 25, starting to head southbound. The call ends up, I guess, being nothing after the earnings, so heading southbound again for backed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm short 20. I got back into the short, but candidly, like with the call doing nothing, it's not for as much as I had before. I'm going to take some out in front of 24 when it goes $1 in the money. Rivian gave you that spike. I was just telling you guys that Tesla broke VWAP. Good place to maybe look for a reload in Rivian. Was able to get some up here 130. Going to scalp a couple of bucks out of it and continue to hold on to this one to the short side. So these are starting to work down. And again, I don't want Tesla to go down, but you can't ignore the fact it looked like for all the world it was going to be a breakout, and then we're rolling back into the downside. So Tesla dragging things. What looks like a pretty good recovery in the NASDAQ and the ES. Tesla's really lagging it because we just made another print to the upside on the NASDAQ in the midst of this fall down. So I don't know what to tell you. Like Tesla, I guess people are still reacting to the selling of shares of Elon Musk. So it's still creating a bit of a buying opportunity. I'd prefer it if it was down at 1,000. For now, 25 looks like the level.
So there goes PayPal. I want to give a big shout out. We've got on the new Nike Airs here, Air Force Ones. Killer, love it. Thank you, Mike, for getting me addicted to shoes now. PayPal, look at this, man. Hells yeah. Spin it one more time. We won't spin this anymore. I'm probably sick of it. But there goes PayPal. $450 now in the money. What's up, Rob? Nice sweater there. $450 now in the money on PayPal, and we sit back, relax, explode some money, punch it out. We're up already. We're already up more today, obviously, than we were at the end of yesterday. So, and I still have 5 hours of trading to go. So this is going to be a good day for me today. Hopefully, anyways, no jinx on that one. As you know, what's been the biggest disappointment? I know you're still in it, so it's probably the same for you, is Rivian. I mean, I really thought that Rivian... It's
not even moving.
Exactly. I mean, it's just a bunch of... Thank you so much, John Wilkins there, man, for that. It means a lot to me. And yeah, you are right, Jude, man. That was the trade of the day. All right, Jude, you know what? I'll make PayPal the trade of the day. We'll film that for you. Come back at 2 p.m. and we will watch that. Yeah, we'll wait on that one. Prad, the #1 bachelor in Brampton. Yeah, sure, man. No doubt about that. You can, Prad will talk about that. And the good thing about dating Prad is that when you go visit him, maybe his mom will cook for you. So you get that as well. So shout out to you, Prad. Where is Prad? It was not even there, damn it. Okay, that's that. So good movement to the upside there.
He's probably rating the fruit salad right now.
He's crushing the fruit salad right now, probably. That was a good move down to 332 and change down there for Coinbase. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, he was.
#1 single bachelor in Brampton. And I said, not only do you get to date you, but you get to have your mom cook for you. That's right. See, there you go. That's right. So there it is. What's up, Brendan? Let's go.
But maybe not a date to go along with that. Dash, guys, DoorDash just taking out day highs here, 242, volume coming back in. What a move this has been this week for DoorDash going still.
Facebook. I mean,
yuck. Yeah. I mean, someone just asked it in the chat, and I don't mind. We can go over Apple. The thing about trading Apple is that I don't necessarily usually ever trade Apple because you might as well just be trading the overall market. And we talked about the bounce that's happening in here. It's a good sign. I mean, exactly when the ES and the NASDAQ, well, the NASDAQ in particular is getting right through that. I mean, 16.1 right up at that high is the same point at which Apple's reaching its high as well. And that's what we get about just following the market. I love what's going on holding the 50-period moving average for Apple. I think Apple's a great name when it comes to protecting yourself against, I don't think there's necessarily stagflation or inflation, whichever one scares you. I think it's going to be a good name in that regard. I just don't see a sexy day trade at all in this, unless you're playing inside of the range and keep picking up buys in front of these kinds of dips. I don't like a breakout. There's other names that are going to move a heck of a lot more, but yeah, certainly setting up pretty nicely. The same way Amazon's sitting there looking boring like dead money. Apple gives you that protection against inflation in the same kind of range. No day trade to be had, but if you're not in it, not a horrible place to be nibbling in. Man, I wish Tesla would get off the hump here. What's crazy to me is Tesla continues to fall down, and I guess maybe they're a little bit inverted. And then Rivian, like not making that fall through. And I don't want to be short here. I'm just going to start to scalp the trade in Rivian because there is nothing else to do with it. If it is not going to move between 127 and 130, well then if I'm going to sit in this trade, I need to make sure that I'm getting shorts in front of 130 and covering something in front of 127. Otherwise, there's just not much to happen here. The volume's fantastic in it. You just want to see it break at some point, and back looks like it's okay. I know I said Sundial looked like it had a shot at breaking back out. Well, that was only if it took out that 85 level. It just got back down to 81. So it probably is at this point now headed to 75. I did think it was making a bit of a bottom. I was not going to average into it, but I'm still holding about 15% of the position here. So I want to make sure I can get some bids out there, have some in front of 80. I'll get some out in front of 75. Again, Sundial's a history of doing this, right? Like it'll pop up, And then the best squeeze play, if you're going to have the long, usually if you're going to have the long on sundial, you want to get in early when everyone has that euphoria, like really, really early on in the morning at 7 o'clock when it makes that run at the high. If you're buying it at the open when it starts to come back in, it's a pretty dangerous game historically. Sometimes it finds a bottom at lunchtime. Good luck to those of you that are looking for that now. I've only played it in one direction since the open. There was some long, I had one long actually at 95 thinking it would go to a buck. And when that failed, it's been short ever since.
Yeah, I wish I would have traded that Airbnb today as I look through at some of the stuff that we're talking about right now. What a good out that seemed to have been on Coinbase. What a bad hold it was. I'm still going to hold Coinbase, thinking that we can take this out. We only have a third of the position on as we got out for flat there. I mean, slight loser, but actually not flat. So that was a good trade there for me on that name, as we'll slightly. Actually, we lost 31 cents on that trade there, which is not bad for a $300 stock. And then we could have made there $334.50, could have made $2 on the last third, but we're hoping for a little bit of a squeeze to the downside. Does that make sense? There on Coinbase. And what is squeezing right now? PayPal. I mean, we talked about this over and over again. I think if we get another opportunity on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, I don't think we will again, but down here, 201, 202, that's been just such a great bid. I mean, if you look here on the daily chart, it held it the last 3 days. This is why you buy the third day. I mean, this is not why. Hopefully that's just some rhetoric that I'm spewing out there, the 3-day rule. Let's go to the 20-minute chart just to show you guys here. Look, here's the drop down. And that day, yesterday is, you guys can see. Let me show up a little bit more. There it is. Yeah, hard to see. This is the 20. Let me, if I zoom in, maybe it'll be a little bit better. So there it is. Yeah, that's good. So this is the first day, obviously off earnings. What a disaster. 240 down to $2. That was a nasty move down for PayPal. But look, just held all yesterday, gave us a bump up, held this morning, giving us a bump up. So I think the right play here, Jude, and everybody, is probably to get this out right now. I mean, it's a $5 winner right now on the upside, so that's going to be a good trade. But you have 208.20, 208.50, these levels right here. Maybe we should cash it out for that $7 right now on PayPal. Not right now, if it ever ticks up to that high. As I look at Rivian, man, like, do something. I want to go short, but I don't. I want to go long, but I don't. As Rivian right now taking out, it looks like, I mean, I was just looking at it because it's at 130 again. You can see it's just today. Sleepy time for Rivian. You're kind of caught here waiting for someone to make a move. Do options start today on Rivian? That could be, yeah, so that's another catalyst there as well. So there it goes, breaking through 130. We'll talk about this when we get back from Brendan. And what is this segment called again, Brendan?
Money Talks.
Money Talks. My favorite. How could I forget that? Let's see what the Canadian dollar is up to.
Checking. It's flat. Yeah, basically flat. A little bit positive on the day. This is the dollar index. So I threw up the DXY because, if we go over here, the dollar set for its biggest rise weekly in 5 months. So huge week for the USD, 93.8 at the bottom. We're up to about 95.5, but it is coming off a little bit today, back into negative territory so far today. A lot of these, though, kind of unchanged. There is some strength in Australia and New Zealand. They typically trade one and the same. Turkish lira, 0.8 to the upside. Swiss franc, they're in positive territory. Everything else kind of flat so far. Crypto's to the downside today. I mean, huge run, obviously, for all of these. So 2% here for Bitcoin. Ethereum below it is about the same, I think, a little bit more, even 3%. But I have this covering it, obviously. So, yeah, 5-week or the biggest weekly rally in 5 months, guys, for the dollar this week.
They're saying they can't see it, though.
That's on Webull.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure options. I mean, even though you guys don't see it on Webull, maybe you guys can confirm. But I thought Trader Pratt also said he had heard that options were today. So now that Brendan's back at the desk, we probably can confirm it. But it doesn't mean they're available on all the platforms.
That's exactly.
That's the one thing. But I think market-wide on the CME, they're probably there.
I don't. So we don't usually have people say, "Hey, talk about AMAT." So that stuck out to me because one of the first 4 stocks that I traded. True story. When I came to day trade the world as a day trader, it was AMAT was one of the 4. It was AMAT, Oracle, Cisco, and Microsoft, actually. So those were the 4 that I started trading out on as a day trader, and then eventually went on to other things. When I thought I'd be a trend trader and drawing trend lines, like I said, it was crazy. It was muted success, and I moved on. But AMAT here, and I like him, I own him, but I did take some profit when this thing was barcoding off this 145 top, and it was a good play for the chip shortage because as a supplier, I thought it was a safe way to get back into it. I think they're going to be another good play for safety when it comes to potential issues with inflation or stagflation, whatever you want to call it, because with the chip shortage going on, if there is one thing that you absolutely know, is people are going to pay whatever they got to, and that's going to be chips. So diversifying yourself across that entire spectrum makes sense. And whether that's with the foundry play, I haven't found my way into global foundries, but the way I see it, I own Intel already for that side of the game. So I need to get into that one. But AMAT is definitely a good holding and setting up for a nice potential breakout here again on the daily chart if it gets through this 157 area. So AMAT's pretty well set up. It's already made a couple of good breaks. It's been really good off the 200 period that you saw right back in here. And now trying to break out. It was just sitting around doing nothing after making fantastic moves at the beginning of the year. And now you're looking to see some secondary pushes on AMAT.
Let's check back in on what I think could also be, Miss Jude, the trade of the day. I think this Roblox trade was a great one. Obviously, buying the bottoms would have been better, but identifying this break on Roblox right there at this top on the 20-minute chart was a great one as well. And that Roblox trade, of course, if you're joining me for the first time, was $100.50. Our first out was $1.30 in the money there, and then our last out was up to 103. So we took $2.50, so $1.30 there, $2.50 there to ring the Reggie on that one. And today's trading has been absolutely crazy. DraftKings back down to $40 as well might be something. What's up, Brendo?
Not a heck of a lot as far as earnings, guys. I was just having a look. Oh, NVIDIA is next Wednesday. So there are a few big names. I was just checking what is coming throughout the week. Next Wednesday, we get Baidu. We get, I think, JD.com as well, some of the Chinese e-commerce. But here's a look at tonight and Monday pre-market.
I mean, you mentioned Baidu next week. Of course, they just had Singles Day, which was a blowout for them, and better results for them than it was for Alibaba stock-wise. But I mean, one name on there that I guess we can be excited about a little bit is that Oatly, because sometimes it tends to move a little bit on earnings. But you've probably seen a lot of the bigger ones already, and it's EV, and some of the related EV names that are still going to be the big movers, I think, next week.
Yeah, I'm going to try to focus on what I did today. And if you look here at today's sticky note, right, we have Rivian, we have PaySafe, we have Coinbase, we have AMD, and we're talking a little bit about Palantir. So I actually have no earnings names on here whatsoever today other than yesterday's PaySafe. So I'm not, there's so much happening right now. I'll be looking at PayPal come Monday. Obviously, we're always going to be looking at AMD with a monster move there. And I actually like Coinbase. Hasn't been great, but I've been watching it and learning a little bit more about that today too. So I'm excited to look at that as a trade Monday. One more time. Normally, it's Miss V now. If that's where we're going, then let's go over there and see what day it is.
Thank you, Sean. And hey, guys, happy Friday to all of you once again. I hope that's a great week for you overall. And it's not finished. Join me and Pratt to keep trading and discussing the hottest stocks of the day. Please make sure you like this video. Your support means a lot to us. And happy National Chicken Soup for the Soul Day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I'll take it.
Chicken soup for the, I mean, not just chicken soup.
That was a book, wasn't it?
Yes.
The chicken soup. Yeah.
Chicken soup for the soul. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, on a cold fall, I don't know, wet, like one of those dank, wet type of days, certainly can be good. Have a nice sandwich to go with it. I'm more of like a tomato soup and a sandwich kind of guy if I'm going for that at home.
I like dipping into the tomato soup.
Yeah, exactly.
You just dip the grilled cheese in there.
Unless I'm sick, chicken soup. I don't know. I'm not a huge chicken soup guy.
Wow, Facebook. What's up?
Soup that you'll like, Neil. You have to.
Wow. Okay.
You have to make a bone broth.
Yes.
With a slow cooker for 48 hours, and then make a soup with that broth. Unbelievable.
I'm already
chicken
living,
soup
I'm
at Brendan's.
life.
At Brendan's.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Actually, Brendan, you didn't say the good news, man.
Yes, it's a very special day. After nearly 6 weeks, we're coming up to the end, I think, actually, of the 6 week. I get to actually go home today, so I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
There you go. So the rentals are moving on there. I know it's been a bit of a sore point every time we bring it up. That renovations can be, you know how it is, guys. Rentals can be a bit of a you know what. It's already 11 o'clock. We'll be back, of course, at 2 for the final 2 hours of the week, but we're sending you right on over to you-know-who, Trader Pratt and Miss V. Go get it.
Hey, welcome back to the last day of week, Friday. I'm your host, Trader Pratt of Memes and Movers. My beautiful co-host, Miss V, or
Thank you,
Mrs. V.
Brad.
You guys want to?
Doesn't, yeah, call me V Money now. Welcome, guys. Happy Friday. Please be active on the chat as usual. Ask us anything. Bring us some names you